Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. Bob, we've got a job.
Good.
KZ Excellent.
Catchphrase.
And Mr. Feel. Here on GigaBoots. Bioweek has ceased.
Die.
Let's see. Let's do the recap. We got to be a dad. We got to be verified. We got to be kind. It was a time. It was the best. No, it was just the worst of times. We did Bioshock 1, 2, Infinite, Burial at Sea, DLC 1 and 2, and Minerva's Den. There was, we talked a bit, I believe, about Bioshock 1 on the prior week, but maybe we didn't. Maybe that was all one weekend. Oh, God.
Yeah, it was all
one weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. It was quite something.
Yeah, no, we pushed really hard this last week, streaming and everything. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Bioshock 1. Kind of amazed that game doesn't have more environment variety for most of the first 5 hours. And then past that, it starts slowly changing. Every couple hours, you get a mildly different new area. Kind of surprised. I hadn't seen most of that game. I had just seen the opening. So I expected it to be a lot more set PC throughout, because the opening is really Half-Life 2 style set PC, you know?
Right.
I expected it to continue that throughout. That game on console still feels like Bioshock 1. It running better certainly helps it run better, and it being high res certainly helps it look high res. I don't have much else to say, Bob.
Yeah, that's still like, I played it back when it came out. Well, when it hit the PS3 after the year of waiting.
Well, that's not true. We tried it on the 360.
Yeah, but I played it all the way through.
Oh, okay.
when it hit the PS3.
Okay.
I thought maybe I had some false memories. Maybe I had some sort of bias going into it, and that it was better than I remember. It is not at all. That's exactly the same game I played back then. No difference. That is the most overrated video game maybe ever.
So there's something you said about Bioshock that I assumed you were swinging hard or overselling or underselling. You said years and years ago, this was a long time ago, like 13 years, you were like, that game, Bioshock 1, is a first-person shooter that is nothing but fetch quests.
Yeah.
And I was like, clearly it can't be nothing but that. But every new area you get to, it's like, hey, go get 4 of these things. Hey, go get 3 of these things. It's to the point where they're like, we're going to have to turn you into a big daddy so you can get through this door. Go get his pants.
Hello, I'm Filler Man. Can you kill 3 guys?
Yeah, no. Getting trapped in the Sander Cohen filler dimension was insane, because he's like, by the way, I've cut off the vein of the main story. No one can reach you. And I'm like, this is sudden.
Yeah, and the entire plot told
10 hours on a whiteboard.
Yes. Yes, that's a very important key selling point.
Ken just keeps underlining it every day he comes in. There are now 26 underscores under this 10 hours. Yeah, I thought I would like it a little bit more going through it. I thought, honestly, here's the number one thing I thought. I thought the would you kindly thing would be dealt with any level of gravitas and like not levity, but a certain balance between the plot twist itself and how crazy that's supposed to be for you and normalcy. But instead, it's like, why so serious cranked up to 70? Written on a fucking like piles of newspapers with thumbtacks in them and red yarn connecting them.
Yes.
Why? It's just.
I forgot about that room. I forgot that they put a room right there, 3 minutes before the scene.
Actually,
that was insane. I somehow blocked that room out entirely.
I mean, it is just nuts. It is nuts that room exists. Honestly, I think that room's like 20 to 30 before the reveal, which makes it even crazier.
Yeah, the weird thing is that Bioshock games, apparently that's a trope, because they do it in Minerva's Den, and then they do it in Bioshock Infinite as well. Like, here's this full twist, just written on a whiteboard like 30 minutes before it's going to happen. It's like, why?
They got that's called foreshadowing.
When you give them the twist and then do it again out loud really, really dramatically, that's...
I saw it going back, the thing that happens immediately after the twist would make sense in context. At all.
Yeah.
The next 3 hours.
Yeah,
Okay,
because-
Bioshock 1 is not a game we recommend playing.
No.
We're going to talk about story stuff now. If you don't want to hear it, skip like 5 minutes because we're going to be in the Bioshock chunk for a while. Go ahead, Bob. Just fucking gloves off.
Yeah, because you find out the would you kindly thing is controlling you.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Ryan knows that and orders you around using the code and then orders you to kill him. It is like, well, surely he has a plan. No, not at all.
He's dying on a hill.
He just is dead.
Yeah. Okay. So first, like, people are always like, this game owns objectivists, and I'm like, I don't think I feel like you shouldn't make the objectivist willing to die for his beliefs if you're trying to own the objectivist.
That's true.
That feels very strange.
100%.
But not as strange as fucking Fontaine trying to kill you right after when he can control you.
Yeah, it's like, why do you need to fill the room with crazy gas? You can just tell me to kill myself.
Dude, he doesn't even need to do that. He had that passcode to make your organs shut down, but since the psycho control over you was reduced by Tenenbaum because she could just do that, your organ shutting down is reduced. His ability to control you is reduced. If he had just done that while you were still in that room, you could have been shot to death while your organ shut down all at once.
Yeah.
You know what I'd have done? You know what I would have done if I was Fontaine? I'd been like, good, Andrew Ryan's dead, I can leave. And then never contact the player ever again and just go.
Yeah, I mean,
like, there's no threat.
The dude's a giant 4-year-old mutoid baby. I don't respect Bioshock Infinite's retconning of him looking like a normal person. I want him to look like a mutant baby.
Yeah, because you get to the end of this one and you're like, oh my god, he's the dumb statue mutoid man.
Yeah,
and then Infinite, I'm like, oh, that's accurate to the portrait of his alter ego. Okay,
sure.
I don't know how many super psycho drugs you take to bulk up the way you did.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was not great. I wish the pipe dreams controlled better because even though the entire rest of the game runs at 60, pipe dreams is still like chugging ass at 10 frames per second or 15. It's dropping inputs nonstop. It's ignoring shit. It's
giving you impossible ones.
It literally gave us impossible ones. I lost it. I was like, it was great that it happened on stream. It was like catching them in the act. I was like, see, it's bullshit. You all saw it.
Yeah, because you can say that, and I can be like, yeah, sure.
Nah, Dan's just bitter that he lost.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no.
And then it's like, no, everything is blocked. And there's not enough pieces.
As it turns out, they didn't give me enough pieces to get around the bullshit that procedurally was thrown in my way. It randomly generated a block wide enough where I didn't have the correct pieces to get around it. That was hilarious. But yeah, that's Bioshock 1. I don't care that the final battle's hilarious. That final battle made me go, oh my god, Bioshock Infinite is not going to have a boss fight at all, is it? And then it didn't.
I love how that dude's so huge, and then Bob chopped him in half. It was so good.
Bob, I watched the video of that ending forever ago.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone mulch him like that. That was so good.
He just hacked one of his drones set in his way, and he just got stuck. He couldn't move. I was like, what is this?
Dude, it was bad enough before that. And then he just, like, he's trying to come for you, but there's a head-height drone floating in his way. So his head goes, dunk, and gets stuck in it as Bob keeps unloading lead in him. And I'm like, this is nuts.
I've had tougher times than that boss, but in my defense, I wasn't like Bob, who had all of the crossbow shots, so he's just like, your life ends tonight. Evil dies tonight.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
It was.
What was it, Casey? When the stream ended, you're like, I've never seen someone play so much pipe dreams in my life.
Yeah, I know. When I was watching it, I kept seeing you were talking to like half the game is pipe dreams. I'm like, I've never encountered this before ever. I'm like, I do pipe dreams. I do not
do all of the pipe dreams.
I did not go to that level, but also in your defense, you were worried about backtracking through old areas.
Yeah, because people kept pointing out they're like the med kits, the medical stations. You can smash them in order to heal. And I'm like, yeah, but there's got to be a point to being able to backtrack because you can go back to any old area in this game.
Yeah,
I was like, there's got to be a point, and I'm terrified when they're going to do the Metal Gear Solid 1 thing of go back.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god, it's happening, and then the game ends, and I go, wait, what?
Yeah, it doesn't do that. And I was someone who's like, I need the quick gains now because, I played this when I was younger, and I'm like, let's just do it. Let's do it. And sometimes the RNG is good, and they'll give you like 2.
Yeah, I feel like in Bioshock 1, there's like something to hack every 4 feet, and they definitely turned that down in 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff to hack, but it's not like every 4 feet.
It's not 5 machines and a vending machine that is a funny clown and makes me laugh.
It's not a walrus, yeah.
Yeah, come back when you get some money, buddy.
Then we played Bioshock 2. I genuinely enjoyed Bioshock 2 the most of the entire Bioweek. I would love to play it on PC.
That was always how I felt, but people always made me feel insane for thinking that.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed it.
Because it was always either no, Bioshock 2. It was that fucking insane thing in 7th Gen where it's like, this sequel really polished the gameplay and built on it. Unfortunately, it's sort of like the first one, so I have to give it 2 points lower.
Yeah.
No innovation, it loses 3 points.
Somehow Assassin's Creed did great. I don't get it. I don't get it. But Bioshock 2, I enjoyed a lot of the things about it. I enjoy how many weird ammo types there are per gun and how cool that can be for different situations. Admittedly, I did feel like multiple times towards the end of the main campaign and then in the DLC, some of this could have been the briskness through which we went through the game, which we weren't overly rushing ourselves. And at some point, we did turn the difficulty down because we did 1 and 2 in a single stream like crackheads.
You got cocky as you usually do, but it didn't go as bad as I thought it would.
No, it was perfectly fine. We just made the executive decision at some point of, it's fine. I don't foresee a world in which we come out of Bioshock 2 having beat it on normal difficulty and being like, we learned something that we wouldn't have learned on easy.
Yeah, I think that happens during a death stream where sometimes you're like, you're not going to get anything else out of this. That's what happened to me in Dead Space 2 when I went, we're just going to move that down.
For me, sometimes it's per game, right?
Yeah.
We generally try to play on the default difficulty, but sometimes like this, it just, we were, how many hours in, Bob? 7?
1 million?
I feel like we were 6 to 7 hours into
somewhere around 5 or 6 hours. And
Yeah.
we're like, okay,
I failed this encounter 3 or 4 times. Let's turn it down. Then we turned it down, and I didn't notice shit.
Yeah, it didn't seem to change all that much. We kept doing I think the worst part of Bioshock 2 is the little sister protection
Adam
missions.
harvesting.
Yeah, it's like this is obviously here just to fill time.
Yeah, that's that game's padding.
Yeah.
That game has fewer fetch quest like things, but it has, hey, you want to upgrade your plasmids, you need to use Adam. You get the Adam from the little sisters who get them from these bodies, which she calls angels. You need to protect her from random enemies. It's kind of like a Destiny. Walk up to a thing, hold square, fight off waves.
Yes.
And sometimes Big Sister shows up to try to kill you.
I feel like that only happened to us in the DLC, but I could just be misremembering.
I know that there's some conditions where she shows up to throw hands in the main game.
Okay, because when that happened in the DLC, I was like, oh shit, what? But yeah, it was like this completely optional half of the playtime. But since you want to upgrade all the plasmids, it's like, well, we can't just keep skipping these. Best moment in the stream, though. The funniest moment of the stream, let me put it that way. We get several hours into this game. We've been saving every little sister. Bob was not introduced to a concept that I was 1 level prior, where I'm playing this level and I'm about to board the train and the game goes, hey, buddy, listen, you don't get to come back. So there are little sisters out there. You need to save them before you move on. I'm like, thanks, game. Keep in mind, everyone, we are 15, 17 hours into a stream when this happens. I go, thanks, game, and I go save that little sister. Bob returns from McDonald's with food. We play the entire next level. Bob finally gets to the end. Like, I started off the level, Bob finishes the level, and when he gets in, he walks into an innocuous control center, and it has a pop-up really quick, and it's like, hey, when you throw this switch, you're not going to be able to go back. They're little sisters. You should go save them. Bob, this many hours into the stream goes, yeah. And then he hits the X button without any realization what it said. He throws a lever, which floods everything. And I'm like, Bob, you just flushed a little sister down the toilet.
The idea you press the button of kill, like, yeah, whatever this thing with the skull says.
Bob's like, hey, 1 second, buddy. I'm trying to throw this switch. If you could get this shit out of my face, thank you. Toilet sound. It was unbelievably funny. Even funnier, we reached the end of the game and it's like, you saved them all. It was like, we most certainly did not, but thanks anyway.
One of them got flushed and then shot all the way up out of the water.
Yeah, she somehow got flushed and just rose to the surface. In the ending CG cutscene, it should have had the little sisters in the pod, right? And then just the one who's soaked on the edge of the water.
I was gonna say one that's floating 10 feet away, like on their back.
Just T-posing.
And then the chat was gaslighting. I was like, no, it's over now. You got the bad ending.
I mean, to be fair, we should have flushed a little sister. We even got the trophies.
Yeah.
Even the trophies were convinced we saved them all. And I'm like, this shouldn't be this way, but thanks.
Thank you. Anyway, I like the ding.
This is objectively wrong, but thanks. Yeah, no, I enjoy a lot of the things about Bioshock 2. Obviously, I think the largest hurdle for somebody who's way too self-serious about these games, the largest hurdle should be, in my opinion, how the hell is this place still running 8 years later?
Yeah, the thought that it's 8 years later in Rapture is insane.
And anyone's alive, let alone whatever,
Right. It's like this thing was leaking from literally every orifice 8 years ago.
Yeah. And then you think about, and nobody even had like normal speech. Everyone was like absolute top tier meth head.
Yes.
Just coked the fuck out of their mind, screaming at us and trying to rip our faces off. And somehow this society has worked for 8 years.
Right. It feels like there were only 3 sane people and 2 of them died in Bioshock 1.
As you continue to play through games with Rapture in it, they continue to run back how crazed the people are.
Yes. The fucking burial at sea stuff was the most insane. But yeah, that was Bioshock 2. I guess we could talk about Minerva's Den real quick. I thought it was really neat from a story angle. It too needs to do the twist of you are blank. This is the twist. It's Bioshock. And I think a lot of 2 and Minerva's Den is really held back by needing to be what Bioshock already was, right? Like when you're not the guy who made it, you need to stay within the confines because God knows the audience and the original creator can receive that very poorly if you deviate too much. So that's why that one takes place in Rapture.
It would have helped a lot if the main character of 2 could have just spoken. Like if he didn't need to be silent, that would have helped.
I agree 100%. I appreciate that Booker and Infinite talks.
Right.
I feel like Bioshock 1 would be greatly improved with this twist where you're being controlled. Works a little less good when, you're not talking and you're not a character.
Yes, but the context of when it came out was the meme that is silent protag does things that man on radio says.
Okay, yeah.
So it kind of is written in that context, and it's kind of brilliant within that context. But I agree with you.
Yeah, I only made the connection when you were playing Burial at Sea, and the radio went off, and I'm like, oh, they're talking to each other through it. And I was like, ooh, that's neat.
Wait, radios could go both ways? Thought she was just
60s? No way.
I thought she was just listening to NPR.
You see, the way my brain works, I'm like, it's based on those other ones. You're just silent. So it's just like, you only get information and that's it.
Yeah.
I felt like Minerva's Den wasn't really worth playing. Like, of all of the things. Like, it's not bad. It's just kind of plain and boring. Like, I'm surprised that we got several people being like, that's supposed to be the best Bioshock there is. I'm like, isn't it?
Yeah, it spawned the whole studio.
Wait, what? Oh, God. Ignoring that.
The Fulbright company.
Yes. I wouldn't say it's drastically better than 2, but I do like that it's the only Bioshock thing with a sane emotional core.
Yeah. That's all I heard when it came out is that people really liked and connected with the story.
Like, I think it's neat, though I do think this character in it trying to dunk on Turing is the most hilarious and tone-deaf thing possible. But whatever. Fucking hilarious. But yeah, no. I agree with you, Bob. Like, I couldn't see myself telling anyone, you played Bioshock, that's cool, but did you play Minerva's Den, the important Bioshock experience?
Yeah, it honestly felt like some of the better stuff from 2, but mixed with the bad stuff of 1 constant fetch quest. Like, it felt like it was just a fetch quest the whole game.
Yes. And 2 has so many characters you go through. It feels less like a fetch quest by a million miles. But then you play Minerva's Den, and it starts to recede back into that exact form.
Listen to 2 men on the radio, 1 good, 1 bad.
Which is which?
Did Sucker Punch write this?
Bioshock 3 will open with 2 men calling you on the radio and saying, me and my brother, one of us tells the truth, the other lies.
You know,
oh god, if they do that, that's pretty genius, honestly.
I mean, yeah, the original Bioshock is a satire of silent protagonist games where you do everything the person on the radio tells you. Bioshock 3 or 4 or whatever needs to be a satire of Bioshock specifically. Just have 2 people. One's name is Pim and the other one's Jim. One of them tells the truth, the other lies. They're twins, same profile image.
I'm glad you also laughed at what my favorite thing in these Bioshock style games are, where it's, here's the big reveal. The person you're talking to on the radio will now change portraits.
And accents.
That part I've always thought is great.
It's like the most lame version of the Metal Gear reveal.
It's hilarious.
Like these... Oh, man. We started talking about Metal Gear after we played through these, and we're like, yeah, those are just legitimately smart instead of this, which is, I have a twist.
Yeah, no, I compared it to Shyamalan, and I said, you know, Ken Levine's really lucky that games take forever to make, because if he made as many games as Shyamalan made films, the industry would already be at a point where he's not respected in the least. However, he's only shipped 2, sort of 3 games, because he was a writer and other stuff on System Shock 2. So it's like, and nobody played that. Like, in the grand scheme of gaming consciousness, effectively no one played System Shock 2. So like, if he had shipped, you know, the amount of movies that, like, Shyamalan had, people would be like, yeah, he just writes twists that don't make fucking sense.
Do you think Shyamalan's going to be got for Bioshock the movie? I feel like they need to.
I thought you were going to say Bioshock 3.
No. No.
Oh my god, yes, it's perfect. He does that thing he does in that one movie. I forget which one, but it's just like the whole point of the movie was you're the child destined to become me, M. Night Shyamalan.
Man, you've reached a dark hole right now.
Oh, that would be so good. Okay, anyways, let's move on to Bioshock Infinite. Bob didn't know the ending. I didn't actually know that when I made that joke at the end of last big thing.
Oh yeah, when you quietly, slyly spoil the end of that
yeah,
game.
where I'm just like, yeah, you'll find out what's up with Booker and how he feels about Rivers, or however I phrased it.
Yeah, and at the time I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, anyone who's played the ending knows exactly where that goes.
Yeah.
Obviously we're gonna get into Bioshock Infinite. Hey Bob.
Hey.
Here's my number one thing I wished Bioshock Infinite did.
What's that?
I wish it had a sane through line, narrative-wise, to motivate you to do the things you're doing. Because the part where the game's like, you're in Rapture, these people see you as the false shepherd. Okay, cool.
Oh, you mean Columbia?
Columbia.
Columbia. You're in Columbia. They see you as a false shepherd. Okay, cool. They're chasing you. Okay, all right. You need to rescue her. Okay. You need to amass a giant army, like weapons for this entire army, because this lady won't let you use her ship to leave. We will now cross 2 dimensions so you can find guns in one of them to bring back to the lady in the first, but then you forget about going back to the first dimension. And yeah, it just...
I didn't catch a ton of that stream. How did you react to them getting to the guns and being like, wait, we can't move all these guns. What do we do?
Yeah,
it made me scream. Dude, I screamed the first time I played that game. Like, what do you mean?
I
How do you not think about this?
the whole time I'm like, this is going to be a video game thing. When we get there, there's going to be a way that works, right? All the guns are neatly in boxes that have wheels that go down a track.
I'm like,
and there will be a
dude.
rift
Or
on the rails.
Yeah, there'll just be a rift right there, or you'll pick them up and it's some video game magic.
So when we get there, they go, oh, fuck, I don't have 307 arms to carry all these.
You played Bioshock 1 where Jack just puts an entire nuke in his ass.
Yes, he does
So
that.
I'm like, what do you fucking mean?
Yeah, so when I get there and that happens, I'm like, why? Why is this what this is? And this was at the tail end of 3 hours of the part I just described. That was the slippery slope of, we need a ship to get off. Okay, we need to arm the rebels. Okay, we'll just slip 2 dimensions. Like, I was already losing my mind.
We need this exact ship to leave when the whole city is filled with flying ships. Filled with them.
Can you tell that this game was in development hell and they said ship?
Yes.
And they just stitched everything they had together as fast as possible.
Yes, and once that part ends, and that part is, oh man, the conclusion of that's so bad. We need to cover it because it becomes relevant slightly later in Bioweek discussion.
It is like horrible.
Daisy Fitzgerald, or Fitzroy, Daisy Fitzroy, just murders a child with no proper setup or anything to prove how evil she is as a member of the Resistance in Dimension 3. And you know, you have to have the person you're rescuing crawl through a little crawl space to go into the glass room that exists on the side of a building, a nondescript box building, in order to murder her. And this whole moment is like, man, that's really forced and terrible. Why did they do that? And then that moment passes, and the game starts getting better as it starts becoming about time ghost moms and where to find them.
Yeah, we just skimmed past how that whole part of the game has that weird tone of, okay, black people are oppressed, that's bad, but we give them the guns, and now they're killing people to stop the oppression. That means they're just as bad. It's like, what?
Oh yeah, no,
yeah, like it's insane. Even when I played that at launch, like I was like, this doesn't seem right, Ken. I feel like you maybe
yeah,
got a little bit confused here.
yeah. Booker DeWitt is the ultimate centrist. Like we spend the whole game with him just being like, I kill. What was it? They're oppressed, and killing their oppressors who have killed many of them is bad because killing is bad, said history's most successful serial killer.
He's like, don't hate, create.
Yeah, no.
See, that's another thing that always fucking bothered me about Bioshock Infinite. It's fucking spoilers for. Well, we're already in spoilers. Who cares?
We're deep.
Booker was at Wounded Knee and slaughtered the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the core crux of his character is that like he's coping with the guilt. But then he explodes people's heads with like a buzzsaw made of hooks. Like that's his melee execution. It's like you can't sell me that this dude is torn up by how he did so much violence when he's doing Doom glory kills on humans.
Yeah. Especially when he's feeling guilty about it, but then condemns people trying to fight their oppressors. Like it's so many layers of, dude, no.
Yeah,
this isn't.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing they slaughtered all the Native Americans without any of them fighting back, or he'd have been like, "Oh, this is fine. They're just as bad."
And then he would have justified all of his actions in that moment right there. Yeah, no, this in all of these through lines, like if you go and watch like Kroby Cat videos or early coverage videos of Bioshock Infinite, which Kroby Cat videos are just a montage of that, right? Shows you a number of things from early interviews and clips. It clearly, the game was supposed to be about the Vox Populi, which is, you know, the minority class, or honestly, I don't even know if we saw a minority member of the Vox Populi in that. But Daisy Fitzroy was shown. So we saw one. It was supposed to, Bioshock Infinite originally was supposed to be about them fighting the people who run Columbia. And then the game just became not that. But then that's still in the middle, and it's handled so poorly.
Yeah, now that became a weird side quest you have to do in the middle of the game.
For 3 hours!
Yeah,
it became another antagonist faction.
It's so bad. It's genuinely terrible. After that, things get cool again, and things are pretty neat, and they're all right. I'm tired of the game bringing up a number of subjects it doesn't have anything to say about. Like, it has no message about any of it. good or bad.
Right.
And it follows that all the way through to the ending. But before we get to that, I want to talk about that last battle.
Oh, man.
There were members in chat who said literally spent 2 hours on this last battle and just gave up and lowered the difficulty.
I came to this realization. I told you I dropped halfway in. I dropped there.
Oh.
As we're going through this insane battle, and multiple people in chat are telling us this, like, and this is the battle for anyone who's played this game. You're on the ship. You just killed, what's
Comstock.
Comstock, thank you. This is the part where I admit I thought his name was Cornstalk for a bit before launch. I was like, yeah, Cornstalk.
Fucking Father Corncob.
Now listen here. Good voice, Troy. Good job. Anyways, you just killed him. You're on the top of his ship. You're going to use his ship to escape to New York or Paris or something. And then the Vox Populi start attacking. And you have to defend the ship against them. But you get to use Songbird in a mechanic that barely works ever to attack them, where it just takes way too long to receive the signal that you need him to attack those things. That he has the most insane cooldown in the world. Most of the damage comes from these airships coming up and unloading in you. And there's just all these ground troops. I took 2 swings at it, and I felt like I was really close. But, I was like, whatever, Bob, do you want to play it? And Bob's like, yeah, sure. He gets it. He gets it on his first try. Chat's like losing it because they spent forever on it. Everyone's overjoyed that we didn't spend over an hour on this part of the game. Then the game ends.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, what do you mean? You just started doing cool things. Why did you immediately stop?
I figured out, I think it was around attempt 2. The beginning of attempt 2 is when I figure out this is the end of the game. What? This is your boss fight?
Yeah, it's insane.
I feel like in shooters, especially like Western big AAA things, when you reach an encounter that seems like it's slightly unreasonable, it's the last thing in the game.
A lot of the time. Sometimes
That is how it seems to be, yeah.
I feel like I've hit a wall in a bunch of games, and even last year, I remember when I hit that. I was playing Killzone Shadowfall, and I hit a room that sucked so much ass, and I'm like, I hate this. And when I cleared it, I'm like, that was the last room.
That is true.
It's like that just happens.
But see, sometimes you get those games that just aren't polished or have a proper difficulty curve. Mm-hmm. That might start with an R and end with 2. Like Resistance 2.
It always comes back to that mysterious game.
I keep thinking of Black, where it's like, yeah, every other level was something like that last level of Killzone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, sometimes
Sounds like hell.
I've never known anyone who's played Black except my dad.
I remember playing Black on the PS2 because it was like some visually stunning thing. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's very cool in a lot of ways.
But it's a total piece of crap. Do you have anything to say about the ending of Bioshock Infinite, man who's just experienced it for the first time?
Okay, it's insane that it acts like Bioshock is some series that's been running for years.
And has 15 entries so they can pull this.
There's always a man, there's always a city, there's always a watchtower.
Yeah, there's always the lighthouse, and it's like,
What was the watchtower?
that wasn't even in Bioshock 2, but okay, I get that you won't want to think about that one.
It's even funnier to do that and then retcon your own entry. It's just like, there's always this, except that's not real though.
I really love that because it's like that Arkham thing where they made Arkham Origins, but that wasn't Rocksteady, so they never want to count it.
Right.
It's like a real video game. But the difference here is it's like that's the second game.
Yeah.
So we're in a universe where Ken Levine's like, there's just 2 Bioshock games. Here's this grand series shakeup.
Yeah, and they do all these interesting things with, oh man, this is how the world works, and we have this whole mechanic of how memories cycle in if you go to a new universe, and then we don't do anything with it, and the game just ends.
It's kind of like if they did that, I believe, is Mega Man 9 moment where you beat Wily, and then Wily shows you every time you fought him before. Or Rush projects that into the background, except for there's only one screen.
Yeah.
And then there's a video of you in that moment showing in that one screen.
It's so weird. And they don't do a good job at all of justifying like why Elizabeth has to kill you. Like, we don't see the ramifications of there being another Comstock.
Well, we can't let there be any Comstocks because all Comstocks must be returned to nothing, Bob. You see, you need to return 0 back to nothing.
That made more sense.
It did, actually. Metal Gear Solid 4 made more sense. Hyphen Bob being correct.
I can't wait to know what that means.
I thought that I didn't think that like the drowning Comstock thing was that like confusing or ridiculous. It was like, this is the divergence point, so we killed one entire divergence line by drowning him.
Yes, we kill all the Comstocks. We no longer have a Comstock problem. I get that. For me, I thought the rest of the game would lead into this and explore it. Yeah,
Instead of 30 minutes at the end.
And also, like, explore it emotionally for Elizabeth, at least, a little bit more. But instead, they're interested in the power of the twist instead of fleshing out how this feels as a moment for her or Booker. They just stop acting human.
Yeah, it's
to some extent.
It's so bizarre. You don't see the ramifications of having killed him. You don't see the problem with not killing Comstock. Like, after the other Comstock's dead, are we undoing all the bad stuff that happened in Colombia by doing this? I'm not even sure, because there isn't like a clear how this dimension hopping works at all.
Well, see, Bob, you just need the twins, you know, the Lutises would just explain to you the Colombia exists because it already was existing and it will continue to exist. It's all just grammar.
I know. It's like, if nothing of there is changeable, everything that's already happened will happen and is happening. Then what are we even seeking to accomplish? And I don't know.
That's the feeling you're supposed to have, and it's brilliant.
No.
Is it? Because see, my read of it was like, nothing you do matters because another you made a different choice in a different timeline. It's like Owlman in DC Comics, where he's a nihilist because because of that.
Okay.
Because like so that's where it doesn't change. But so Booker decided to get the baptism, which would make him become Comstock.
Yes.
And then the Elizabeths show up and drown that Booker. So all Columbias and Comstocks are now erased.
Based on that one Booker, but then the DLC immediately goes on to show not all Bookers. Hashtag.
I didn't fucking play that, so I don't know.
Yeah, the DLC pretty much says that, nothing's really changed.
It literally goes on a tangent me and Bob were kind of talking about would be funny. And it takes it seriously of, now the Elizabeths are on a Comstock manhunt through dimensions. And it's kind of insane, and it's kind of funny, but it's mostly stupid.
Yeah. Sorry, Phil. You had a really good point, but Ken disagreed. He wants to make it worse.
I mean,
I was like, I'm sorry. It's my fault for trying to make it.
Yeah, you're giving him rope, and he doesn't want it.
And the thing is, to some extent, I agree with Phil's analysis of what the original ending was. It's a shame that Levine doesn't agree with that.
Right. And
he got bored and decided to do something else.
I also tried to give him rope various times to the stream, and people were like, stop trying to make this make sense. Because there's a point where Elizabeth at random is like, if the Humber comes and gets me, kill me. I want to die rather than go back, which is completely different from her tone at any point in that game. And I was like, well, maybe they did chop this dimension. Maybe this was a dimension where she was treated poorly. No, there's nothing to elaborate on why she suddenly feels this way, and she doesn't feel this way later, even.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And that this game is filled with that, of just, the characters are acting like this in this scene. And that's it. Just for that scene. I don't know why.
Yeah, because and that's the thing. Their characters, it's not like character growth. They're just written pretty differently based on what scene they're in. In fact, like almost every scene with Elizabeth, she acts completely different.
Yeah, which
it's weird. It's really weird.
When the DLC does a thing where you pop up back in Colombia is future Elizabeth, I was like, oh man, maybe they're going to do something interesting where it was just different Elizabeth several times. No, nothing interesting.
Though, to be fair, I do appreciate the opening of Burial at C2 and how you're a Disney princess. That's the funniest shit in the world. That DLC should have just kept that tone the whole time. It would have been like beer goggles, but for Disney fans. Like, I am a Disney princess. This fucking rules. Like, that's a dimension I want to spend more time in. Also, I did want her to do the Tim and Eric intro Diamond Jim joke of walking up to every French person going, bonjour.
That's how it felt. That whole section felt like that movie, which is insane.
That's why it was great. It was better than anything else in the DLC. Okay,
yes.
We're going to quickly cover what DLC 1 was. Burial at C1. Elizabeth finds Booker. You are in rapture. she employs you to go save a little girl. Sally, I believe is her name.
Yes.
She tells you how to find her, basically. You two do some sleuthing. You find her. She goes, okay, she keeps hiding in the pipes. We need to get her out of the pipes by sealing all of the doors to the little sister pipes and turning up the heat so that way she's uncomfortable and comes out. This is all. This is. I am not exaggerating. I'm not changing shit. This is real. This is all Elizabeth's plan. And when you do it and Sally starts screaming in pain and you try to panically pull her out because obviously she's being cooked alive in these pipes, Elizabeth starts scolding you and talking about how you need to control other people and how you were Comstock the whole time and that you shaved and asked the Luteces to take you to a place where you could ignore all the shitty things you've done and forgotten who you were and pose to be Booker, and then she lets a Big Daddy murder you. And that's the ending.
Boo!
Yeah,
It was single-handedly the stupidest thing in all of Bioshock.
Booker even says, I don't want to do this, Elizabeth. This is horrible. This will hurt her. I do not want to do this.
He says it multiple times.
And then she's just like, no, do this. This is the only way, Booker. You have to do it. You have to cook this child. And it's like,
You have to cook this child. Why did you cook this child?
It's terrible. It's genuinely the worst thing in all of Bioshock.
yeah.
What was up? What was up Seventh Gen's ass with this? Where it's like, do this horrible thing. Okay, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I think this might be the worst of them all.
This is the worst of them all that we've experienced.
Because you usually don't have a character saying, I don't want to.
Yeah. Usually you're silent protagonist.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're getting on to 2. Feel? Did you watch Burial at C2?
No,
Did you play it?
no, just tell
Feel?
me. Just
Feel?
fucking give it to
Feel?
me.
It's so good.
Feel?
It's so good.
I'm terrified because chat told me something and I'm hoping they're fucking liars. Feel? They said it was Sucker Punch. Just literally the plot of the movie Sucker Punch, and I'm horrified.
They did say that. I'm like, why did I have to hear about this so often?
Is the plot that you're playing as a girl, and you're doing a bunch of cool shit, and then the reveal is no, you weren't doing cool shit. You're actually being lobotomized right now. Oh no!
I was watching your stream, Dan, and they do that intro, right? Where you're in Paris.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, everything gets dark, and then there's a building over there that just shows the diagram of a lobotomy.
Yep.
No!
At some point, we started to make the joke of we need a gigantic arrow that we can put on screen that says this is important.
We're like, stay tuned. This will be important.
Yeah. Yeah, Feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sucker Punch, and Sucker Punch came out 2 years before this, so he just fucking stole Sucker Punch.
And it's not like this is the main game. This is the DLC. So, of course, that's enough time.
Yeah.
So, the plot of Burial at C2 is not only that thing with the intro in France that shows, the structure of a human brain, diagrams and things like that. You eventually work your way doing stealth segments. The whole thing's a stealth segment, which is the weirdest shit in the world. Also, Elizabeth is a little sister, I think.
No.
Her height is so weird.
No, she's supposed to just be another Elizabeth. This makes no sense, basically. But they don't want to explain it because that'd be interesting.
Yeah, you run into a dead Elizabeth, and it's like, you don't have any of your powers now.
Yeah, so they took every single power away from Elizabeth. She has to use stun darts. She finds another of herself dead, and we don't get a clear explanation as to, is she another her from another dimension? Is she
yeah.
I guess that she's the wish fulfillment rift that she opened was herself or something.
Yeah,
That's all I've got.
So, we had been waiting all of Bioweek for the stealth segment, and it was really weird when we didn't really get one until this DLC that's nothing but that.
Yeah, that was really funny. I also like how you're just directly being forced to work with Atlas.
Yeah. The conclusion of this, because the content of it sucks, it's not even worth talking about. But the conclusion of this feel is Atlas is shoving a spike up your eye into your brain to try to destroy your prefrontal cortex, because that deletes your personality, your sense of self, and all these other things. And as he's doing this, he keeps telling you, bring me the ace in the hole. I need the ace in the hole. Where is the ace in the hole? And you scream, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Then you blank out to another dimension where Booker, who this whole time he's been like, I'm dead. Remember that Big Daddy killed me in episode 1. I'm not real. I'm a part of you talking to you. He then goes, you need to go to this room. This is where the ace in the hole is. And then she realizes that's Suchong's office. So she yells, the ace in the hole is in Suchong's office. It's worth noting that Atlas just starts screaming at you for, quote, the ace in the hole, whatever that means, as though that's a thing he should know and you should know and everyone knows. So he keeps screaming at you for some reason for this ace in the hole, even though he has no reason to believe you would know that. But it's in Suchong's office, you discover. So he's like, oh, isn't that convenient? It's in Suchong's office. Everything's genetically coded to try to kill me and my wife.
My wife Moira.
His wife. It doesn't come up once in the DLC.
Yeah,
he doesn't even fake it for anyone other than Jack.
I love that scene just for the moment where he gets angry, just angry enough to slip into his real voice.
It is funny.
And the actor does a pretty good job of immediately slipping into his fucked up form.
So you tell him it's there. He goes, oh, that's convenient. None of us can get within 5 feet of that or 5 miles of that because of blah, blah, blah. You then teleport using your mind powers to this room. In this room, there are little sisters hanging out next to the big daddies. An arc of this entire DLC is we have no way to bond the little sisters with the big daddies. It just doesn't work. And the big daddy looks sick. He's in the way of a door, so you can't walk past it. You feel sick. And the little sisters are like, oh, the big daddy's sick. What do we do? What do we do? And then Elizabeth instructs one of the little sisters to suck the atom out of another with an injector and then put it in him. And this is how the first big daddy little sister bond is ever created. You go through that door into Suchong's office. Suchong immediately is yelling at one of the 2 little sisters you helped and hits her. And then the big daddy murders Suchong. And you pick this encoded message up off of his desk and you go, this is the ace in the hole. And you teleport back and you hand it to Atlas. And Atlas is like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I don't understand this. And then you go, the note says, and you start flashing to different moments in Bioshock 1. Would you kindly? Would you?
You literally teleport into the plane. There's
to watch Jack take the plane over.
Yes. They do their grand moment of, there he is, throughout the DLC that I think is really, really farcical. The note decoding thing is super funny. It reminds me of all those shit posts about Sherlock.
Yes.
Where it's like you look at the code and she decodes the words where every single one of Suchong's notes is a secret thing.
Yeah, they have chemical strains.
I love that they have this whole mechanic of decoding the notes. And this man, Suchong, has left recordings of himself throughout the other games where he just says his darkest secrets into the recorder and leaves it on his desk.
Yeah. But the would you kindly ace in the hole
awesome
that he's supposed to be working with Atlas on, that needs to be in it.
Yeah, the thought that they needed to explain something like this was like, Atlas was involved in this whole thing.
Yeah, the idea that Atlas knew about the other codes to stop your heart, but not the ultimate control phrase.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, Atlas is obviously supposed to be high up in the creation of Jack. Even acts like he's your father in the first game. And yet, let's throw all of that away. Just because I want everything to tie together, because I'm a genius.
And then because we need it to end as tragically as possible. Elizabeth just gets a spike up in the brain.
No, she just gets hit with the wrench until she dies.
Oh, that's true. She's beaten to death with the wrench, and then we cut to the little sister being sad next to her.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, like the thing with the spike in the eye is that is exactly Sucker Punch. They ripped off Sucker Punch. There is no question whatsoever.
That's really... really depressing because I thought I couldn't disrespect Ken Levine anymore.
Yeah.
Now's a good time. Now is a good time to bring up the Ken Levine as an Andrew Yang guy.
I know you said you had some special new news fact about Ken Levine. I didn't know what it could have been.
I thought you were going to bring up the thing chat started bringing up nonstop towards the end, where they're just like, yeah, Ken Levine went on record saying that actually Bioshock 1 is about what was it? Is about Jewish heritage. and the struggle of the Jewish race. And I'm like, the
He
game
said some fucking insane shit like that, yeah.
the game about unleashed greed is secretly a comment. What? And then someone in chat who is Jewish just blew up and said, can we get some writers who aren't self-hating Jews? And I'm like, this is bad, you guys. We need to nobody interview this man. I just don't want to. I don't want to hear. The only thing worse than his games is hearing him talk about them. I don't even want to understand what he thinks Burial at Sea was or what it was about. Burial at Sea is what I was worried this entire week would be. I thought it would be 33 plus hours of that. Like my worst case scenario. Because, of course, in your mind, you prepped your best case and your worst case, right?
Right.
And then you assume it's somewhere in between. Happily in between.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Jesus Christ. No human ever should play Burial at Sea.
No. Oh, yeah. One positive thing about Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah.
That's the only game that feels good to play at all.
It feels really good, actually. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, you have a shotgun that blows up like half the screen. Your entire view area is killed by one shotgun shot.
One moment, I'm going to pull this trigger and kill everyone east of here.
Yeah, it also knocks me back 25 feet into a wall.
It's really good. Yeah, and also since the game, like a lot of people complain that the game makes you stick to 2 weapons, which I understand 2 has a lot of weapon variety and ammo variety, and then 1 has a lot of weapons. I was okay with it because we just stuck with the shotgun and the sniper rifle the whole time. But as I understand it, at launch, the game was worse about giving you ammo for guns you had equipped. But yeah, Infinite feels great. It feels a lot better than the others. I wish the core part of the story was better and better motivated. And yeah, it was really weird when some of chat started referring to the Ghost Mom part as filler. And I'm like, I don't know. This is kind of building out lore and universe mechanics and all sorts of other things. Yeah, I just came from trying to get arms for a rebellion.
That's 2 dimensions ago, and I can't apparently go back?
Question mark?
Yeah, everything with dimension hopping in that game is just completely like they didn't write it. They have no idea.
You could have done some really cool things with that.
Yeah, they opened the whole game with that line from I forget who it was, but about when memories are lacking, your brain makes them up.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be a big thing and really important, and it really wasn't.
I mean, it's kind of supposed to be about Booker specifically.
Yes.
Not necessarily via dimension hopping, but because of the weirdness that is the beginning of that. Yeah, I found the Lutece is interesting. Is it Lutece or Lutece?
I don't know.
Either way, lettuce. I found lettuce pretty interesting. Yeah, but yeah, don't play Burial at Sea. No one should play that. No one should play either. They're both terrible for very different reasons. I'm gonna watch the movie Sucker Punch someday, and I'm just gonna scream. Oh man. Anyways, that was Bioweek. I'm glad it's over.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
I enjoy the knowledge I gained from it.
That's the experience.
I enjoyed Bioshock 2. And I enjoyed the knowledge I gained from it. If we could have ended that without playing the Infinite's DLC, that would have been much better.
It's so exciting that there is a Bioshock in development that Ken Levine is not involved in.
Same. I agree. Because you know what? Bioshock 2 had a boss.
Yes.
Infinite doesn't have a boss. One has Atlas.
One has a boss that can be easily chopped up into 1,000,000 pieces.
You don't even fight Songbird once in Infinite, do you?
No.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know. You would think that would be the thing.
Right?
Yeah. As I understand, and I haven't looked into this since we beat that game, there was supposed to be a much larger role for Songbird in the lore of the game. Like, what is Songbird and etc.
That makes sense.
That they just cut entirely.
Yeah, it feels like most of this game is just left on the floor somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be more, right?
It's like 3 times as much game as there is in this game, just sitting on the floor somewhere.
Yeah. And like, even those early previews showed like young Comstock and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you changed that last minute, didn't you? Was there a whole section where you actually traveled through time?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But we're done with Bioweek. Luckily, I can move on to talk about what else I've been playing this week. I've been playing free YouTube movies.
Ooh. Oh God!
I didn't play any games aside from Bioweek. That was so much game.
Yeah, it was.
I watched Throw Mama from the Train,
Yo! This is bullshit. You should have told me.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Rain Man. What else did I watch? I watched like 5 fucking films this week.
We watched Planet of the Apes, the final one of the classic trilogy.
That's true. Bob finally watched the final Planet of the Apes film, which I believe is called Battle for the Planet of the Apes. I watched Men at Work. Yeah, I watched a ton. This is my way of saying I've been having trouble getting to sleep this week.
Clearly.
And since these were free, whatever, I'll try it. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
I'm very excited to tell you the plot of Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah, I've never heard of this movie. What is this?
Throw Mama from the Train is a film about a man who writes, and he has trouble writing. So the opening of this film is him having trouble writing the opening of his book.
Okay, yeah.
And he teaches writing. And it was very, very much that I'm a writer writing about writing. I write about what you know. And the script literally becomes him as an English teacher telling people to write what they know. And I'm like, okay, this is up its own ass, but maybe eventually we recover. Then it becomes, guess what? This whole film is a parody, a satire of a Hitchcock film.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the exact Hitchcock film it's a parody of, but the idea is 2 strangers meet on a train or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they decide in order to, there we go. Strangers on a Train is literally the name of that Hitchcock film. They decide to kill each other's problems, right?
Okay.
A wife and whatever. So they're trading murders. In this movie, Bob, the English instructor just talks about, yeah, I'm a miserable person too. Hey, we have that in common, talking to a student who's played by Danny DeVito. And his student is just like, that's great. We have something in common. He's like, no, please leave me alone. Go watch a Hitchcock film or something. And the student, through all these signals of not understanding and mixing things up and being a little damaged, seemingly, not the smartest person, thinks he's sending him coded language to kill his ex-wife. So Danny DeVito fucking murders his ex-wife. He's like, what the fuck did you do? He's like, okay, now you kill my mom.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So
I've seen this movie. It's fucked up.
Instead of being like this incredibly schlocky thing that I was expecting, it's just this insane slide of Danny DeVito being like, no, I fulfilled my end of the bargain. Kill my mom. Billy Crystal's like, please leave me alone. Jesus Christ. So anyway, yeah, I watched that and those other films. I don't have anything to say about the rest of them. I just thought that was funny because anytime I watched a thing written by someone about writing, I'm like, oh boy, this is up its own ass. And then, and then that happened. And I was like, okay, this is pretty all right. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
What have you been up to?
Battle of the Planet of the Apes is way stupider than I thought it could be.
Yeah, there's a reason I haven't fucking pushed you to watch it in the what? Bob, I watched that movie 16 years ago, and not once did I go, you need to see it.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
For people who don't understand, because people are always confused about this, there are 5 in the original series of Planet of the Apes films. Each one gets dumber and less money every time. Every time they get stupider and stupider and get way less money. So by the time you get to the 5th film, it's a bunch of people standing in the woods. Not with good outfits, not with good ape makeup, not with good set pieces or anything.
They made one set for that movie.
Yeah.
One good looking set. Then there's the forest that they put up some tents and some really like not great looking houses.
It is bottom tier shonen anime levels of writing a conflict. Because the enemy is like shooting the hell out of the apes in the colony, right?
Yeah.
And they make their way all the way in, and then the humans are like, haha, we won. And then the apes go, surprise! And they all get up, and I'm like, they were shooting you with guns. At what point do you go, surprise, none of us are hurt?
Yeah, that made so little sense.
It's worth noting this is rated G.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I was like, just okay. That's the stupidest thing I could have imagined. I didn't think it could get that dumb, honestly. I guess there's a reason no one goes up the bat for this one. Because I feel like there's factions that like each other classic film.
Yeah.
Like,
I assume
2 has a few fans, 3 has a lot of fans. I've heard good things about 4 even.
I don't know if 3 has a lot of fans. I think it's just aggro being very loud.
Maybe aggro does just project that, but I could have sworn there was a little bit of like the radiation around that being good.
Maybe.
Yeah, man, 5. No wonder they just stopped.
Yeah.
But other than that,
and one last thing.
Oh yeah.
We need to know the funniest thing about the original 5 Planet of the Apes films is the timeline makes less and less sense as they go to. Where it's like within the span of 20 years, every ape on Earth can now speak English. But there's no plot reason for this. They just can because they were oppressed into being slaves in the 4th film.
Yeah, that made no sense at all. Because the end, I don't know. I guess we could spoil
Planet of the Apes 5.
In 3.
God.
They heavily imply that there's a cyclical time thing, and the escape ape from the future, who's super smart, kind of mingles with the regular apes, and eventually all apes become super intelligent. And then movie 4, 10 years or 20 years later, all the apes are just super intelligent anyway. It's like, what?
Yeah, actually, I hate to break this to you, Bob.
What's up?
They don't actually copulate with the normal apes.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, no. So the end of Planet of the Apes 2 is they blow up the planet with a nuke. It sends the apes from Planet of the Apes, Zira and Cornelius, back in time on the nuke waves.
Right.
They have a baby in the past.
Yes.
Which is now the 60s. And then, for some reason, unbeknownst to anyone, I'm pretty sure Planet of the Apes 4 is about that baby in the same system of enslavement as every ape on Earth for no reason at all.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So then the 5th one, still about that one.
Uh-huh.
There was no interbreeding at all, but they can all speak English.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. 3 leads into the thought of that ape that escaped from the future would have just gone into the society, and eventually all the apes would become that smart.
Yes.
Like true breeding and everything.
That's the thought.
And
that's
then
the thought when 3 ends. And then 4's like, what if it's really stupid?
Yes.
And then 5's like, what if it's even dumber? Also, we only had $20 to make this film.
I love that Fields just losing it over hearing the plot of the
timeline
of the
Planet of the Apes quintology. Yeah, no, it's really some shit. I enjoyed the hell out of it because
but
each
still
one,
smarter than Bioshock.
actually,
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
You could tell Phil had less of a seizure during this.
Well, at no point is Planet of the Apes 5 sucker punch for no reason.
Strangely better dealing with of racism than a Bioshock.
Yeah, no, we watched it after we beat Bioshock Infinite. And I'm like, how is this?
I mean, this is kind of bad, but it's not that bad.
It's terrible, but it's not that bad. That's a high fucking bar. Did you play anything else?
I did play games. We actually played a game you didn't mention. We played King of Fighters 15.
Oh, that's right. I didn't bring up King of Fighters 15. I love King of Fighters 15.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I love the roster they have. The game feels really smooth and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was able to go through a few story modes just to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a surprising amount of dialogue throughout the story mode as you like run to different teams. If your character matches up with another character, a lot of times they'll have like a dialogue they do and a little cutscene thing. But then the ending has no audio at all. It's like a classic KOF ending where there's pictures and text. I'm like, this is a good throwback, guys, but I feel like you could have put voices on this. I'm not talking about it's not dubbed. It's just no voice, period.
I think 14 was like that too.
Probably. That's almost certainly the same way. It's been so long I can't remember because I did not play much 14, especially after launch.
Yeah, this is the most I liked at King of Fighters since like the original arcade games, like around 2003. This is the most I've liked one since then.
Yeah. It feels like it's in a stride again, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like feels good. Lots of cool characters. I feel like we're gonna need to get out of the saga to get a good final boss again.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's told them. Super God being who cannot talk is a cool final boss. It's never cool. If your final thing can't come out and be like, I'm the CEO, this is my plan, then what's the point? Like, there's a reason people remember Rugal and people remember that crazy dude from 2001. I don't know his name, but his design is really cool.
Or the one covered in tattoos, Orochi?
He's in 98
or the one with the blade cape.
Blade Cape is the mini boss for 2011, and then the main boss is this dude in a white outfit and white hair. And he's like, "Yeah, this is my plan."
See, look at all these characters we can remember.
And this is like, I'm a demon who yells.
Igniz was the guy from 2001.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so this dude's like Ogre from Tekken.
Yeah, he is. She is very much like Ogre from Tekken, which I think that there's something about Tekken where that works because they've done it so many times in a row, and there's so much like going on with Heihachi summoning these stupid things.
Yes.
Whereas we don't even get a summoner who is cool in these games. It's just like they appeared. Okay.
They appeared during this battle tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one in 2013, the one in 13 who was like Ash Crimson's fucking evil side, or the evil part of his power, could still talk.
Right.
And was like still shit talking and had lots of unique interactions with different characters. So it's just like, why?
Yeah, I don't know what they... And then, like, the endings I've gotten have been basically unrelated to this giant monster. I even went through, I went through as a team I wanted to play first, which was the Angel Kula and K9999, or Cronin.
Yeah.
And they have something completely unrelated to it. Just like, we got the prize money. This is cool. It was like, well, that's just a weird random team I like. Of course, it doesn't have anything to do with the ending. I play as the hero team.
Oh, no.
Which is a main dude with the hands, Benimaru, and Sleeping Kid.
Yes.
There's like a big thing about his power relating to the summoning of these monsters. There's like one extra cutscene that feels like it doesn't do hardly anything. It's like, okay, thanks, I guess. That didn't really mean much. And then they do it entirely, like their whole actual ending is just about him and the Sleepy Kid going on a martial arts adventure.
I guess you're going to have to pick the team with his Virgil.
Yes, the Splatoon kid.
Yes, the Splatoon girl who also has hands.
Yeah. I imagine she's going to have the same level of... We'll have one extra cutscene in here explaining what happens with the demon, but nothing like interacting wise with it. Jesus. But I'm excited to see how that goes. I don't get it. Why? Why would you ever do this? SNK kind of has the best bosses with Geese and freaking Gonads. Is that his name? Something
Gonads.
Yeah.
SNK boss is a term.
Yes,
it is Gonads. You got it.
Good. I'm part of in my head. I'm like, is Kukri actually Gonads, but pretending he has sand powers by using wind? That'd be really cool.
Kukri's the hooded dude, right?
Yes.
Okay, he's that dude that I'm like, yo, he looks like the mascot for Disturbed.
I mean, he just looks like he's from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
like more so than anyone I've ever seen.
Yes.
They should have gotten the same voice actor as the guy from the movie. God, who's the voice actor from him? Was it? God, someone in chat will know. Was it Yuri Lowenthal? Someone in chat. Comments, those are chat. Replies on Twitters, those are chat.
Yes,
Hey,
chat is everywhere.
I got a chat in the mail today.
Ray Chase.
Ray Chase, thank you. Yes, that would be incredible if we just got Ray Chase. But no, we can't get it up.
No, not allowed.
But here's something I love, Bob.
What's that?
I'm looking up Gonads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready for this?
Sure.
Where is it? Full name, Leopold Gonitz, parentheses, possibly. Yes! I love shit like that in wikis.
Oh, yeah, 13 Sentinels is popping into my brain again.
Man.
It's like, how the hell do they not have a dub? Use some of the Saudi money, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they have plenty of money now. It's just, why didn't you do it? Come on.
Oh, well. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. Looking forward to playing some more.
I got to play a little bit online. It felt fine. It had a thing at the beginning. It was like, hey, do you want to do some practice matches? And I'm like, No, I don't want to do practice matches. Let me play online. I don't have any time.
Yeah, what if we trap you in here, make you do like 10?
Then it's like, okay, I get it. You want to be started at a high rank, I get it. So it starts being like rank 15. Jesus.
You know what? They should do that more often. Make kids learn.
Yeah. I have one complaint
What's that?
about King of Fighters 15. Athena's outfit sucks.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's the worst. I don't know what they were thinking.
Love Athena. How'd they fuck this up this bad?
How do you have, after this many years of new outfits for Athena, you screw up this bad?
I don't know. No idea. She's got the worst outfit of anyone in that game.
I would buy a lot of DLC for this if they just gave me a lot of different outfits for many characters. There's a ton of them. It's like, this is a worse version of their classic outfit. Why'd you do this? Give me the classic.
Yeah, it's hard to improve on perfection.
Yeah, it's like either do something really out there and different, or just make the classic. Like, what's up with Kula's? It's just a worse league version of what she currently has. And same with oh man, what's her name?
I don't know.
The boxing girl, Vanessa.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I can deal with Kula's. Kula's isn't terrible. It's not bad. But
yeah, they need to do more costume stuff because they already got one of the most important ones, which is Garo Terry.
Yes, that is great.
Easily the most important. Yeah.
Oh God, what is with Vanessa's fucking pants? Why are they so terrible?
They gave her clown pants in 14, and they're like, that was perfect. We gotta keep it.
But don't they have color schemes that take away the stripes?
They have one color scheme that is the stripes. Thank God.
There you go.
It's the only thing that makes her acceptable looking.
I still think other parts of this costume are also bad. Like I don't understand the lace at the bottom of the shirt.
Yeah, it's also like
I think
weird.
Like what the fuck was wrong with like KOF 99 Vanessa? Like what was wrong with that? That's fine. You don't need to give her clown pants and frankly bizarre lace.
Yeah, that lace is really bizarre. I didn't notice that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, no, it just looks like it's trying to be fancier than it is. It's like it was just a dress shirt.
Okay,
why does it have to be this?
So for people who aren't going to look this up, I'll briefly summarize. She has a shirt that ends just above her midriff and has no sleeves, but they've made the shoulder necky parts of the sleeveless thing lace. And they made two little weird pouches at the bottom above her belly button, lace, in a diamond shape. This looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
I did not even notice.
The worst part is definitely the pants, though. That's definitely the worst part for me. It's like, no. Also, they gave her sandals. Why isn't she used to be able to wear shoes?
Yeah, look, who doesn't box in sandals?
Cross
like,
counter.
Guys. You can just leave a design alone. Look at Capcom. Ryu ain't ever changed.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get it right the first time. Not always. Not even most of the time. But sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed King of Fighters 15. Genuinely looking forward to playing some more. I can't say that about any King of Fighters since like 2003.
Yeah, I'm excited for all his DLC too. Like that first set looks great. Like,
yes.
Give me Rock Howard. Give me Gato.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Gato's important.
Yeah.
B Janet goes hard.
They better have the fucking thighticulation or whatever we kept calling it, where he just straps his thighs around their necks and kills them instantly.
I can't imagine a world in which they don't do that.
Yeah, but the fucking, what was it? Not Yamazaki.
Heater does not have his neck break.
Yeah, that move's amazingly hilarious, where he just spins around and goes,
yeah,
as he rotates around their neck. Yeah, he becomes a propeller around their neck. That's a really good move. It needs to come back.
As far as other stuff I played, I finished Sifu. I did that.
Oh, damn.
I did that last night.
Jesus.
You're good and I'm terrible.
Holy, I was sitting here and I was like, maybe I'll pick it up eventually. I feel like I already missed some of the hype by not getting in. We're so tight on time. You already beat it?
Yes.
Okay. Thoughts?
It was really good. I'm surprised like how well it works with the systems it does. Like I think the only really complaints are sometimes the focus thing where you do like a god hand move doesn't proc that well. Like it'll have some weird issue where it won't let you pop it as fast as you want to, because I guess you need to stop doing your attack. Mm-hmm. Like your attack needs to fully finish its animation before you can pop up that menu and do like your super move. And the camera does get kind of in the way at some bad points because it's so close to you. So if they design a room that's too small, you can get right up against that wall and not be able to tell what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like level 2 has that hallway that has a bunch of doors on the sides as they make you open them up and make you fight various dudes. I feel like it's really easy to, like, if you're not paying attention, you'll pin yourself and then you just can't see.
Yeah, I didn't have that much issues with it until literally the final boss.
Oh.
Other than that, sometimes some movements can be a little weird because there's no like lock-on system. It just locks whoever's nearest you. So there are movements that are like back forward a punch, and it'll do a special move. And sometimes that doesn't go off in the way I expect it to, but it surprisingly usually does. Like it's 95% chance of it working right. But yeah, it really, you can feel that it's made by people who like martial arts movies and probably do a lot of research into actual martial arts.
Yeah.
Because everything feels super authentic. Each boss kill, honestly, a lot of them feel like they could be the end of a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
There's, especially the last three. Like all three of those are just super strong. I'm like, wow. Plus, this goes way harder on artistic direction with levels than I expected it to. Like level 2 goes crazy with the club environment and switching over to a like burnt temple and back.
Yeah, there's a lot of those, like you beat up a dude and you've teleported into the room is not the same anymore.
Yeah, they do that sort of thing right away, and then it just goes harder in the next few levels. The difficulty curve is a little weird because I feel like after beating the first 3 levels, the last 2 go kind of easily.
Huh.
I kind of figured this game was going to be like that.
Except the final boss. That is a nightmare.
God.
Oh, it's a good thing they're adding difficulties.
But yeah, it's really cool. I'm excited to play more of it because as you go through, you get the investigation board stuff, which is like he's building his Charlie Day map of what's happening.
Yes.
He's finding out, would you kindly?
I'm not sure how to continue unlocking stuff if now that I've beaten the game, if there's going to just be more things appear in these levels or if I just wasn't searching them well enough. I'm not sure which way it's going to go.
Yeah, I think it's like a mix. Like I was 1 off on the first level. And I'm like, how do I get this? And I ran through it 2 more times to try and find something. I just couldn't. And then I look at them. They're like, go to the final level. And I'm like, what? And they're like, there's a key in the final level for level 1. Because there's just a door right before the first boss that's just locked. And they'll tell you how to open it.
Yeah, I found that in the first level and assumed it was something like that going on. Because in level 3, you get something for level 2. And I was like, okay, that's what they're doing. So I'm just like, do I need to scrub each of these levels that hard? Or will now things just appear in these old levels now that I've run through the game once? I'm not 100% sure. I also wish that I could change the character gender at any point. But you make that selection at the start of the game and it's hard in for the whole time.
Yeah, I do wish they kind of just would let you do that because, some games are starting to let you do that. Like the latest Assassin's Creed lets you hot swap.
Yeah, it's like there's not a ton of story in this game. It couldn't affect basically anything.
Yeah.
Just let me choose the design I like after I've messed with both.
It's like maybe I do want the big beard.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know if this is 100% true.
What's up?
But I saw someone tell me that when they were fighting the first boss that you can spare bosses.
Ooh.
They're like, if you like break their posture twice or some insane shit, you get like a dialogue option.
I hope that's true because I think that'd be a really neat. Like the whole time I was going through the second half of the game, I was like, it'd be neat if there was a way to not kill these guys.
Yeah, where I'm like, I don't know if it's 100% true. The way they described it reminded me of Mortal Kombat things.
Yeah, if it's something like I've just to the point where I can kind of devastate the first boss, so I'm surprised I didn't run into anything like that. But maybe you need to beat the game once, and then you get that option if you do something.
Yeah, that's super real. I check in, they're like, how to do that and unlock. And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, you absolutely can do that once you become way too good at the game.
So that game's really cool. It's another one of those situations like Kana where I'm like, this isn't impressive for indie studio. This is an impressive thing.
Yes, it's we've been rolling the dice with like Sony's backed indie games, where it's like you'll have something like a Kana or a Sifu that comes out good. And it's like you're rolling the dice on whether or not it's Solar Ash or not.
Yeah, Solar Ash did a lot to deter me from trying this, but luckily, seeing enough and getting to play it through KZ's copy of like, okay, this seems like it'll be fine.
Yeah, because I'm like, I paid for it, and I really don't want anyone else to be like, I guess I'll try it. And then they do one dodge offset or something, go, this fucking feels like shit.
Something I didn't quite understand when I played it for a while is the way dodging works is you just hold the block button and you'll block normally. And if you hit up or down, you dodge up or down. Like, you don't need to like tap, block, and hit up or down. You could be blocking the whole time.
Yeah, which is weird when there's a dodge button that is bad.
The dodge button, yeah, it definitely does not. It's more for moving around the environment, which this game does a pretty good job of having an emphasis on. You shouldn't stay still and just fight them. You should try and move around the environment and get tools and get them to come at you one at a time.
Because they will surround you very, very quickly.
Yes.
And I feel like if you're in that situation, once your posture's broken, it's over. It's over because a couple of them are just going to hit you in the head and knock your health from like 90% to 0 in 2 hits.
Yeah. I found even going back to level 1, I died. Like, it still happened for sure because 2 guys will hit you with a bat and you're dead. But yeah, definitely just checking out if you like kung fu movies or just wanted an interesting feeling action game. It doesn't feel quite like anything else.
Yeah.
Other things I played, I tried a game called Ruin Valley.
All right.
This is just a random game I found through, I think that Persona Sama on Twitter retweeted it. It's just a random indie dev making this Metroidvania style dungeon exploration game, but it has a really neat art style to it where everything's a light gray or purple, and then fire is red. And you just go through this dungeon collecting things. It feels pretty smooth, and it has a really cool looking art style. I definitely wish people check it out. There's not much more to say. The demo is like probably 30 minutes long or so, maybe 20. And he's working on a full game right now. I think it's just up on itch.io or something. But that was cool. And that's everything I played.
Oh, I forgot to mention one last thing.
Yeah, what's up?
The versions of these free movies YouTube put out are the TV censored ones.
Whoa. Whoa.
It was obvious.
Yeah, that would have been lost
Of course
media.
it is. It always is.
There's a whole joke in Throw Mama from the Train about how one of the writers in his class wrote a book of Women I Want to Fuck. And that's the title of the book. And the book is just a list of names. And for some reason, they dubbed it over with Women I Would Like to Have Sex With.
My name is Buck, and I'm here to party.
Yeah, this is my favorite moment in both Kill Bill and ODST.
Yes. God, I can't believe we went all the way through ODST the very first time we played it, making that joke.
Yeah, no, it was nonstop. Yeah, that was killing the hell out of me. Also, you can't print screen or do any photo snipping of these YouTube movies. They have the HDCP handshake.
Oh my God.
So anytime you do that, it's just black. It's just a void.
Wow.
Subtitle shows up, though, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, anyways, I thought that was funny. Hey, Casey.
Hey.
What you been playing?
This first one I want to talk about, I'm glad we record on Thursdays. The timing was just right for this one. So I've been still playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. They put out an update today, adding various content, but a special event. They wanted to run like these events to like get people to play it more, play differently. This one makes it so that you can only use a certain type of card for the extra deck in that game. So it's like there's a bunch of specialized cards in the game. They wanted to focus on the Exceed type. And I'm like, that's interesting. That'll, it allows you to build in a different way. And they created their own unique ban list for it and actually banned a few things that have been really prominent in the game right now. And I'm like, that's really smart. And they also did stuff of, even if you lose, you'll still get credit. And you can get a bunch of free currency through this. And I'm like, they really thought all of this out. They did not. They ran into this.
They did not.
They ran into the greatest problem of all that I don't think they could have expected. Everyone is building a deck that makes them kill themselves. Because
Yeah.
if they build a deck that makes them kill themselves, they will get credit faster than playing honestly and winning because they give you rewards for losing. So unfortunately, the majority of people playing the event right now are killing themselves.
There's a brilliant irony somewhere in here, and I don't think it's quite salient.
All I know is I saw one clip of someone saying playing this event be like, and it's just them running into Mike's DeClasse and smiling friends.
Oh no.
And it's just people trying to get their kill in one turn, and then other people going, I'm playing against another person trying to kill themselves, but they did it faster. But since I won, I got more experience from it. This is great. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. I cannot wait till either midway through this event or every event from now on. They're like, you do not get anything for losing. Or they changed that exchange rate to a ludicrous degree, because it seemed like they had thought it through when they're like, surrendering gives you nothing. It's like, okay, you actually have to commit to the game you're playing, and then unfortunately,
Oh no, you have to play the game?
yeah, it's tragic. I was really excited for this event, and then I saw that and I went, well, I mean, there is a lot of currency on the line here.
I mean, yeah, I would do it.
I could, in fact, build a gun to shoot myself.
You tell me if it can't put out an event where it's like make a team that's purposely bad that I wouldn't do it?
Dude,
Of course I would.
This is the new wave in meta service games, so that way the next Destiny expansion's like, do all these raids to get this gun to kill yourself.
You see, I never really considered this type of play ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually you'll have a moment of, I guess I'll kill myself instead of surrendering here because there's no, like, chance. But that's like midway through a game. I've never experienced people building one-turn kill decks on themselves.
Yeah, that's absurd.
Where it's like, here are all these cards that have really heavy bad costs for you if something happens, and they're like, I've engineered a deck where it always happens immediately to me. I just think that's funny. That's all I wanted to say about that. Better luck next time, I guess. That shit got solved in 6 hours. I played Dead Space 3 this week, the exact same day you were playing Bioshock Infinite. This house was filled with 2013 7th gen games. Lore from the previous few big things. I thought Dead Space 1 was all right, but in general, I didn't find it like spooky or anything, and didn't really care about like some of the story stuff. Encounters were kind of bad. I played Dead Space 2. I liked the story and the atmosphere and the areas a lot better. The encounter design was still really fucking bad. Possibly worse because they added some new bad enemies to it. And I'm like, Dead Space 3 might end up being my favorite one because every co-op game I played in the past has gotten buffed through the act of co-op. And then Phil said on stream, no, it could just be the opposite of that and be the worst thing you've ever seen. Phil was right.
Of course I was.
Yeah, everything I remembered about Dead Space 3, I'm like, I think he may be walking into the worst one.
Yes, as it turns out, I was walking into the worst one. So,
no.
So Dead Space is an action-esque survival horror type thing. So the Dead Space 3, after its walk and talk intro, drops you into Isaac Clarke and this other dude, and they're like, get behind cover, we're shooting dudes. And they're like, this is what waist high cover does for you, because it's about these evil guys that are like, we need the power of the marker, which is that space alien tech that makes all the aliens, because they've continued to expand upon that, especially in 2, but now here in 3. And there's some weird, evil, insane British man who looks almost like Elton John or Austin Powers. And he's like, we're gonna evolve, and we're gonna evolve using the marker or whatever. And you go on a co-op adventure of going into a spaceship, and then the spaceship crash lands on the snow planet that's supposed to be the home world of where all the shit happened. And it's an action co-op adventure where you craft weapons and items, and
God, that explains everything.
yeah, and you cooperate with your buddy, blasting through stuff, doing side quests so you can get
Okay.
more materials. You have a little robot now, and you actually get another one later, where you can set it down on the ground, and it will forge for things on a timer, and then 10 minutes later, it will return to a workbench and give you more materials.
So
And it has like a radar, and it'll like glow if you're in a specialized place that has more. But
You
go on,
solved
Dan.
a 9-year running mystery for me.
What?
I'm like, I swear to God, there was an E3 where they showed off both Dead Space 3 and Lost Planet 3. And I'm like, they're both icy horror co-op games.
That's all people were saying. They're like, this is like Lost Planet 3.
That's fucking so.
But we're going through it, and I think my friend Alto put it best, saying, I hate this more than Chris's campaign in Resident Evil 6. Which we basically considered a 0 while playing it.
Oh my God.
Because that was like, here's the Call of Duty action-based Resident Evil where they don't give you enough ammo. Here, they kind of give you enough ammo, but make the worst encounters you've ever experienced. There's an enemy type in Dead Space 2 and is also in 3. They're like these stalker-type enemies, and they always design them in, say, a room that has a bunch of rocks that, like, it's like really tall rocks, and they hide behind them. And they won't come at you unless you walk a certain amount of steps close enough, and then they'll circle you, hit you in the back, and then run away before you can turn around, because somehow Dead Space had 3 Resident Evil 4-like games and never created quick turn. And so it just becomes this nightmare of dealing with them, and then they kill you in like 2 or 3 hits. And there's no like, and it is really unforgiving. It's like your partner died, it's over. To a degree that I feel like even Resident Evil 5 is a little easier with this. And it was just becoming a nightmare, where it's like we're in hell trying to clear some of these encounters. Some of the hitboxes feel like they're broken.
Well, it's online now, so it's of course broken.
Oh yeah, and I think FPS Boost also broke parts of it, because during a section when we were on a spaceship, they're shooting geysers of fire in the area, and you have to run your way through it while also dodging enemies, and they're like on little timers, so it's like the fire goes off every like 5 or 6 seconds. And it was hitting me even in spots that there wasn't fire in, and I feel like the hitboxes just got broken.
Dang.
Or just mistimed. That was getting pretty obnoxious. And the other part, through it being an online game, we went on an elevator maybe 200 times across the entire playthrough. Every other room is an elevator that makes you go up or down for like 10 feet. And you got to have both people on, and you got to hit the button, and then you go up and you go down. And some of them loop back into workbenches that are next to workbenches that are next to workbenches on floors. And it just becomes this thing of, this feels like this is stitched together in a really, really unsatisfying way. There's not to say there's no satisfaction in the game. They let you modify weapons in this, and some of it's cool, where it's like, I crafted a shotgun that has a rocket launcher on it, or I have this charge beam weapon, or this one that does a ground pound. And some of them were enjoyable. You put mods on it to like have acid rounds or something like that. But we came to realize that the grenade, the rocket launcher, has splash damage that can basically one-shot you. So what I'm saying is that my friend Alto died 15 times because the enemy was just too fast and then blew up in front of them. Because they just hit the alt fire and it killed them, and then we had to redo 5 minutes again. And eventually they finally gave us the mod that just says you're immune to that, and we're like, this is great. We don't have to care anymore. Unfortunately, all the encounters are insane and stupid, so the game is still horrible to get through. And it starts losing it toward the end. I'm going to talk a little bit about the end of it and the DLC that they put out for it, which is the final piece of Dead Space content until that remake gets released. The end of this game is insane. They make you fight a giant alien when they say the aliens were really inside the moon over this planet, and were being contained by ancient alien technology that was trying to seal them away, actually. And you're fighting a giant kaiju one with giant eyeballs. What you do is there's hundreds of markers. Reminded, the marker is an ancient giant Shin Megami Tensei looking rock that was in the first game. Now there's hundreds of them to raise the stakes, and now you're using a giant gravity gun to grab them and throw them into the boss's eyeballs. And it's like, this'll be it. We blow this thing up, all the aliens are gone. We're gonna have to sacrifice ourselves here. It's very important. They do it. Your new girlfriend escapes, after you spend the entire game going through a cuck arc. Where
What?
oh yeah, this was it. That was really funny. Where it's Isaac Clarke meets a new girl in the second game and gets her eyeball ripped off with a screwdriver at one point. And there's a new guy who's like, "I love you. This dude's a crazy idiot." And you spend the entire game of Isaac seething about it and having a rivalry with him that just ends in him shooting the dude in the head because he goes crazy, and then he does not converse with her why that was an important thing, so there's tension there for 2 cutscenes for no reason. But yeah, you defeat the aliens, she's able to escape, and it looks like you're left for dead. But it's kind of like it's about an ending par for the course for this series, where it just kind of ends. Then there's DLC that I was assured is the end of the game, and I'm like, we just played something pretty definitive. And they bring us back up, and they're like, you're alive, but you don't know if you're dead. And you're fighting your way through some stuff again. But you beat those aliens, but one of the cultists that is still alive and is doing psycho stuff. It's making you like go crazy and go to this other dimension, and you fight him. And you're trying to get on a ship to return home. And you finally return home after dealing with all of this in this hour-long DLC. And they're like, you did the thing that killed all the aliens, but you didn't. The aliens took over Earth. This is the end of the Dead Space franchise. They have, in fact, taken over everything. And they're like, they planned on doing more, and I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. I'm glad they didn't do any more. What do you mean? Like, the entire conclusion is like, we had a definitive ending that kind of like ended things off fine, just to say it's like, no.
Yeah, they need to get you hooked in for the sequel. You need to know how he's gonna save Earth. Isaac Clarke has got this.
He's totally fucking got this, man. Yeah, that was the worst one by far. They've never learned how to make encounters where I truly feel satisfied in the challenge they've thrown at me. It's just, we're going to take a Resident Evil 5 encounter and just multiply it by 3, and that's every encounter in a Dead Space game, it feels like.
That honestly, the plot of Dead Space going that direction is so weird to me, because it starts out with one being about this crazy artifact on a ship driving everyone crazy and turning them into monsters. It's just a horror thing, and now it's like a Marvel movie where the entire universe is at stake.
Yeah, it's the thing where it's like, there's that artifact, and the second one, it's like, you have dementia, and you helped like make it better or something, and you need to like stop it. And now cults are being made around it, and you're haunted by the ghost of your dead girlfriend. And then the third one's just like, you need to destroy the aliens once and for all. Here's like 1 million of those artifacts.
Yeah.
They turn yellow when you're supposed to hit them. Yeah, it really went insane in a way where I'm like, I get, I've seen this escalation in scale before, but it's not in a way that I actually care at all. I was really hoping that I would like this one, but unfortunately they're like, no, this is fucking awful.
I mean, it sounds like it was shipped out in the middle of a studio crisis.
It does feel like that the way those parts are stitched together. But I'm like, how did your gameplay never improve across 3 games?
Well, the original guy leaves. Then they force co-op into the 3rd.
Like, most of 2's improvements where I had FPS boost on for it. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, I'm like, some of these sub-weapons are better. That is literally it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, here's a new enemy. It's a baby. It's a dead baby. It's a bomb.
Oh my god, it's a dead baby. Oh my god, JC, a dead baby.
Yeah, it's like its ass glows and then it explodes. And then they drop like 10 of those in the room. They're crawling toward you, trying to blow up.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. That's all the games I played this week.
Okay. Hey Phil, what you been playing?
So I tried this game that came out called Skull the Hero Slayer. It came out on I think everything. It's on Game Pass though, which is how I played it. It's a kind of bad roguelite.
Okay.
It's 2D, it's sprite based, it's sprites, and they look good. It looks fairly decent. The whole conceit is like you're a tiny little skeleton boy. You have to go kill the hero who destroyed your country.
Oh yeah, I think that just showed up at different directs or something. Or
yeah. When you search it up, it goes, "Hey, Nintendo." So almost definitely,
you can switch your head to other heads to get different powers. Like you can put on a knight head, and now you have like armor and a shield, and you have different moves. or you can get like the werewolf head, and now you have like a lunge and stuff. It's 2D and it's trying to go for something like Dead Cells, but it isn't nearly as good. It also feels like it's maybe a little bit too balanced. Like I feel like I played it like 5 or 6 hours, and I feel like I never got the loan.
You never got you never got juice.
You never got the Bioshock Infinite shotgun.
I got one legendary skull once that made me a lich, which seemed really powerful, but it wasn't able to close the game. Like it didn't seem powerful enough to be the loan.
Yeah, it didn't feel like the Returnal rocket launcher.
Yeah, not at all. Also, like everything, the bosses are fun and seem well designed, but the rest of the game just seems kind of bad. It'll summon like 40 enemies at once, and so the strategy is to like pile them all together and stun lock them by hitting them.
Okay.
So I don't feel like I'm taking damage because for a skill-based reason. I feel like I'm taking damage because the 40 enemies coming at me are blending together and I can't see their attack.
God.
Yeah, when I think 2D side scroll, I don't think mobs. Like I don't think that's what I want from an enemy.
So it's just really strange. I might play some more because I do want to see like is there anything else here? There's also really weird stuff like the first mini boss and the second mini boss also, because I got to the second boss. That's as far as I got. I think there's 4 areas. So because it's a roguelike, it's not super long if you're successful. All the mini bosses have phases where they just stand there and start healing. And I'm like, why you just give them more health?
No.
Like you can still hit them so you can out damage the healing, which makes it feel even more pointless.
I was thinking the fucking hitting them would cancel the healing.
No, they'll just tank it. They're like chugging a health potion, so they'll just take it while you're hitting them.
Oh, that's...
I'm like, this.
Yeah, okay.
This doesn't seem that great. Also, every actual boss has 2 phases, like with 2 distinct health bars, which I'm not a fan of. I feel like at most that should be the last guy in a roguelite, not every boss. That's all. It's free on Game Pass, so give it a try. Don't just take my word for it. Maybe I'm missing some secret sauce to it.
Mm-hmm.
I also played Cyberpunk 2077 because that next gen update came out.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'll probably talk about it for a couple big things. Preparation. I did not keep up on coverage of this game at all, nor did I look at any of the how fucked it was after launch. So you get none of that from me. You only get what the game is now.
That's special. No one gets that.
Like when they said, "Oh, this game is completely fucked," I'm like, okay, I'm not going to perceive it until they release this patch. I just won't look. It looks really fucking good. Even on performance mode, it looks really good.
That's good. It did not look good at all at launch. I thought my character was melting.
And the scope, frankly, seems insane. I'm surprised. They should have just bit the bullet and not put this on PS4, Xbox One at all, because I don't see how it could possibly work. It seems insane to be able to enter a building and then jump out the 8th story window and land back down at the streets. And the inside of the building is also like stuff.
Oh, wow. Are multiple buildings like that, or is that really just, this is our set piece building?
You know what? I don't know. I haven't explored that much because the opening of the game is actually kind of long.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I at least got through that intro.
Yeah, I knew the opening of the game was really long because basically everyone who's doing benchmarking and analysis fucking hated that.
Yeah, it also has that like pick your origin story thing, so you can pick like one of three of them. So you like start different.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they got different things. I guess that would make sense.
Yeah, like you could pick one of the ones in the city, like you're the corporation like dude.
Yeah, or the street rat. I picked the nomad.
Yeah, Nomad's
cool. You
the
drive
one
around with a car.
Yeah, Nomad's the one where you're not even in the city at the start. Where you're
that area was neat.
Yeah, I also picked that one.
It doesn't seem like an RPG. It seems like every it seems like triple A action game with that we put RPG elements in. Like you don't. There's no social skills.
Is it an
like there's no
sim?
I fucking hate that term, and I don't even know what people mean most of the time when they say
Oh,
it.
it's funny. They don't either. But can you flush a toilet? That's all it actually means.
No, we figured.
Yes, you can. You can flush a toilet.
Immersive sim means it's a shooter that feels bad. It doesn't even need more systems. It needs to feel bad.
I saw you kept talking about Bioshock being an immersive sim. I'm like, no, it's not. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. People kept calling it that because System Shock is.
But see, Bob, it doesn't have to feel bad because Cruelty Squad feels fine and is considered an immersive sim.
Immersive sim is the most fucked up and made up genre ever.
Clearly, it's not.
Yes.
It literally is even worse than Isekai. Because at least that tells me something.
But yeah, Cyberpunk they were pushing as an RPG like
They
in
definitely
pre-release
were.
until the last few months when they stopped calling it that, and then the Twitter bio said it went from RPG to upcoming action adventure game.
Yeah, that like which is fine. Which is fine, but like you shouldn't have tried to sell this as an RPG because it has like the same upgrade this by X% and there's something where if you upgrade one skill enough you get like a action if you put enough points into it, which I didn't get far enough to do that, so maybe next time. I also didn't expect V to be like a character. Like you don't have a lot of dialogue options in this game because they're fully voiced, of course. I don't know. It seems neat so far. Maybe I'll be like, oh, that was an action game. It wasn't an RPG.
I mean, now that it looks good now, which I feel and runs decently now, I imagine. So I feel like that goes
I
a
haven't
long
run
way.
into anything that looked especially bad or ran bad at all. Also, this is a Eurojank PC game, which I feel like probably definitely didn't help it at all back then. But like you can tell just from like you can look down and see your feet and see the animation of you walking and be like, oh.
Uh-oh.
Also, the menus feel kind of bad to navigate because it's like we didn't care about this. This was designed for a PC. I don't think the shooting feels neat. It uses the haptics really well.
Oh wow, that's surprising.
No.
And like so much so that people like wrote articles like haptics completely changed the game. I'm like, yes, it feels like a good addition of the haptics.
That's really funny. It's like, please let us back in the store. We'll work extra hard.
I don't even know if you can buy it still. Maybe you can now.
They put it back on, yeah.
Yeah, they put it back on eventually.
Yeah, they put it back on with this new update, and I just see it plastered all over the store now.
But you know, I haven't run into any bombs. I got a sidekick character I really like because you do the intro with him, and he's like, I was gonna kill you, but the cops want to kill both of us, so I guess we should work together. And you like, okay. I'm like, okay. And he seems like a huge dipshit.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, so we have something going. We'll see if see where this goes, and then I'll be like, they did it, they fixed it. So now only my opinion matters. Nothing that anybody ever said before does.
Yeah, but once you finish the game, watch that Kurobi Cat video.
Yes.
Yeah, because I am curious. Like how much did they remake the game? Other than that, I played Lobotomy Corporation.
No. Is it also Sucker Punch?
No, it is a PC management sim where you manage like a branch of the SCP Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not literally the SCP Foundation, but it's basically that. I played it because I wanted to play the sequel to it, which is nothing like it whatsoever. The sequel to it being Library of Ruina, which is a turn-based, card-focused RPG with visual novel elements.
That's a hell of a sentence.
Yeah.
I feel like I just said a sentence that impaled Bob 4 different times.
Yeah, I know. I could feel it in the room.
The fucking end of Ava over here getting all the spears.
I did not beat Lobotomy Corporation. I tapped out and just watched all the visual, because it also has visual novel segments. I tapped out like a third of the way through the game and just watched it because I can't play this kind of game.
I saw you tweeting like you stepped on a bomb.
That's how, because it's like, okay, you're looking at your corporation, you have to zoom in and out and micromanage employees and deal with like the entities breaking out of containment. And you have to make sure they're all tended to so they don't break containment. And then sometimes the game just decides, RNG bad, I spawn thing that ruins your life. And I got through most of the first third because it like gives it to you in chunks. And I'm like, I can't. It makes me cry. I do not have the brain power to do this micromanaging shit. Even when you can pause. I'm like, no, it's repellent to my mind. So I just skipped it and watched the story cutscenes, which is good. I liked the story that a lot. I thought it was very interesting. And then I went into the sequel, Library of Ruina, which is basically which is so different as them being the same franchise is insane. And it's not like it's not like it's detached. It's all the exact same characters.
Weird.
The end of Lobotomy Corporation is fucking wild. So that's neat. Library of Ruina is like I'm gonna seem really complicated, but I'm actually not complicated at all. It's literally just you give. Here's where I stab Bob again. You give each of your party members a deck of 9 cards.
Okay.
Oh no, paper.
And the cards have 1 to 3 actions on them that they do when you play that card, either an offensive action or a defensive action. There's 3 types of damage types, 3 types of dodge types, and then the actions actually roll dice that tell you what random number between this field this card will give you. So it seems like a lot, but it's not. It's ultimately just pick the shit with the highest possible numbers. Just put all the shit with the highest possible numbers on your guys. Counter your enemies with the highest, like, just try to make your dice roll bigger than theirs. That's literally all there is to the game. And maybe for deep into that game, that's like this, because this game is apparently like 60, 70 hours long, because it's also a visual novel. Maybe I will step on the point where it's like, no, you have to get into these esoteric mechanics to min-max the deck, at which point I will be like, let's look up a deck guide. But right now, it seems very complicated with multiple damage types and dodge types and actions and initiative stacks that you can manipulate. And I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm going to pick big number. And that seems like it's working so far. And then I read about the sequel to this game, which is sadly going to be a gacha game because it sounds like the coolest thing in the entire world from the promo site. And then it's like, no, it's actually a gacha game. Because the whole conceit of the third game, which is once again seems to be entirely different, is like you run the Suicide Squad, and if your guys suck, you can give them this drug that turns them into an alternate dimension version of themselves that might be cooler. This drug is temporary and it makes you go insane. Which I think is a really fucking funny concept for a game. It's literally you take copium as a gameplay mechanic. But that's everything I played. Oh wait, there was one more thing. Genshin came out and I wanted the new character Yae Miko and I rolled once and then got her.
Oh my God! You gotta stop doing that.
Good job.
And then I rolled a second time because you have to roll 5 times to get the battle pass experience. I rolled another time and got Delic.
Good job.
You keep doing that. Whenever the hyped up character comes, Bob, it's time to drop $800 on stream again.
At least I don't want this one. I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep saving up, and then when Ayato comes out, I'm gonna roll once and get him. Definitely gonna happen.
On stream.
No.
Hopefully, yeah.
I'm sorry, Bob. It has to happen on stream.
It really was an exciting stream where Dan's sweating out of his mind.
We're going to have 500 people show up to see whether or not Ayato gets reunited.
and then dies in a horrible lightning accident.
Oh, no. Oh, well, love is fleeting. But you know what's not?
What?
The Podlords.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords. I'm just stating facts about the Podlords. I'm not actually reading them off this week. I just thought you would like to know that they are like a cornerstone to our lives.
Okay, moving on to news.
Moving on to news. Yes, that's right. The Podlords.
Gotcha.
Podlords such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, forged to the flames of stovetop, tempered in ice of bucket. Standing here, the purest form of Pepsi. Room temperature Pepsi, man.
No, still not feeling it.
It's still gross.
Pepsi's only good when cold.
Yeah, no, it's true. The colder it is, the better. There's no world in which I want to drink a Pepsi of all things at room temperature. That's freaking gross.
Yeah, I can slum it with like a Coke, but no.
Yeah.
No, unacceptable for Pepsi.
I'm just gonna heat up the Pepsi and use it to rehydrate my ramen.
What are you doing?
Red Blaze 27. Juice of Frost, Suzushiro, Emperor Zero, Shibuya Gato. No bit this week. Just enjoy this wholesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrimblow.
I don't know which one that is, but look at him.
Yeah,
Yeah, neither am I.
pretty
Look
cute.
at him.
Look at him.
Just hanging out.
It could be a League of Legends character. I don't know.
It also, yes, could be a League of Legends character.
Rado. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. The Buseys will continue until morale improves.
Morale's at an all-time low after the last one.
Yeah. WTF. Spider-Man. Skipping Dying Light 2 cutscene dialogue causes static models, floating objects, and audio cuts and bad writing to make it more insane.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Jesus Christ. How can is that an immersive sim? What is an immersive sim? Bob, what'd you eat for lunch? Was it an immersive sim?
Maybe.
You're watching the Sonic 2 movie. It's after the credits. In a monotone voice you hear, "Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?"
Chris Pratt, Shadow the Hedgehog.
No.
DFW 3K. We've gone too far, but we should get that Pepsi even hotter to see what happens.
Aw.
No.
Shiny Mew. Kristen. Tonberry has nothing. My PR agent has been busy playing Final Fantasy XIV and apparently flooding my search history with Minfilia?
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, that's like Wonder
rough.
Bread.
That's the worst possible option has been chosen here.
Raido Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army Figma Edition.
Ooh.
Yeah, I forgot to change my name. New jobs be like, anyways, it was Vampire Survivor, not Savior. Have a good day.
I'm glad we could close that loop last week.
How long was that? I feel like that was a month of being told to play the wrong game.
I think it only happened for 1 week, but you know.
No, it was multiple. I know that much at least.
Oh, okay, we're in hell.
Kyle Bjork. Wait, what if I bought that game? And now I'm confused. I'm like, what did I?
Hey.
Should I refund it?
A man chooses. Slave obeys.
Yep, you got it. That's what that means, Ken. You got it. Nintendo Direct did not reveal NFTs. We are safe for now. Iron Aggro. Blig de Blue. Schligda's Poo. 7th Gen Protag Carl says, "You telling me if I bang that broad I get oil powers? Well, all right."
You didn't even change the skin on the bottom.
Carl Delson looking at the villain of that game like, use a lesbian or something?
What's your deal? Monster Hunter, Ryzen and Raiden. Kazillion, I know you were impersonating me on that other podcast. You owe me money for my likeness, and I am coming to collect. BN12. Jordan. Nothing will forestall his return. It's Chris Pratt again.
The Chris Pratt thing wouldn't nearly be as funny if it wasn't black and white.
That is true. Yes, absolutely. Cooper Tank. Hey, Tetsuya. Think you could Nomura my Xenos? Passed the remote, changed work schedules, and has no bit this week. Oh, that's good. Just take care of yourself. That's the important part. Potlord, 1 hour of sleep, emaciated, pale skin. I need a bit. Gotta go watch a Lumelin film and screen cap something and write. Just write Randy Pitchford in the box.
Laugh.
Good joke. Everybody laughs. Crow Hands is the best power in Bioshock. That is all for today's bird facts.
I love bees.
Yeah, I think bees are better than crows, honestly.
I think both are really great in really different directions.
Yeah.
In really different directions. They're both funny in completely different ways to me. I don't know. Don't ask me to choose between my children. Poyo Poyo. Drive Type Cam. The disease has assimilated my DNA. I am a VTuber.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
The curse.
Oh, better than a flesh tuber. Mitzi. Indigo Sykes. R.I.P. in peace, Wii U and 3DS eShop. A bowling lane, but quirky and evil. Thanks, Nintendo.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's
It's
fucking evil.
insanely fucking evil.
Oh my god, I'm zooming in more. This is not good.
Speaking of not good, a raccoon enjoying some of that Kofussy. Yeah. No,
Coffee?
No.
Coffee?
It's just we're gonna
Next.
My grandmother once said, "Children are treasures. The greatest sin in this world is to damage those treasures." Aspiring but money ambassador Shinji16 wants to remind you that you matter. You are valid, and you deserve to enjoy War Pepsi.
Oh.
Soul bastion of positivity gone. The inhibitor chip ruined. Shrigma mail.
Yo!
God, I didn't need to see him. I'm gonna have to do that later this year anyway.
Yeah, stop, please. No more. No more Shrigma mail.
What is it from?
Why is it
Chrono
Why is
Cross.
it Shrigma?
Is that one of the 80 million party members?
Yes.
Virvarm. Vine boom sound effect.
Gotta do that rock eyebrow.
Etch a sketch. Thank you very much to our podlords.
Thank you.
Thank you, Podlord.
PepsiCo, I think you owe me reparations at this point.
Thank you, Podlords. You're goated with the sauce for real.
And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Chugging, Bleach, and Mondo Cool, our 2 anime review podcasts, extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when the formats of those shows force us to leave ideas on the cutting room floor, and a patron exclusive show, 1 per month, where you get to vote for what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us by spreading the word and telling your friends. And if you don't have any friends, you can hit on this girl in a coffee shop and she can lead you into an alley and try to eat you. But then you run away, but then she impales you with a tendril out of her arm, but then gets crushed by steel beams falling from a construction site. So they have to put her fucked up demon organs into you, and you become a fucked up demon and have to enter a whole new world of intrigue and mystery and meet many horrible characters. And you can tell them about our podcasting network, patreon.com/gbpodcast.
I did not play that story mode for Android 21 and Fighters. Well, thank you, Phil. Starting off the news this week, let's go to KZ for This Week in Video Game Countdown.
I can't believe this happened. Did you know that we have video game countdowns?
It's the season.
I guess so. We got 2 of these. Both of them done the exact same day at different times. But first up, Capcom posts a countdown for February 21st. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It could be Street Fighter. It could be Resident Evil 4 Remake.
It's 2 things that are tying it, right? Tearing it apart. It is happening close to a Capcom Street Fighter event.
Yep.
It is also happening on President's Day.
Yes.
And we just had leaks about Resident Evil 4 Remake.
I know. That's what's really giving it the powered up effect, but also that thing of Capcom Cup getting canceled, and all signs are pointing to that's where they would probably reveal the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
could go.
What if they just do both?
I mean, that's what I was hoping. I was hoping it would just be like, hey, Capcom Direct. But by the time this comes out, you guys will know.
Right.
Yeah,
They'll know all about Mega Man X.
Oh, shit. Mega Man X.
See, this is an exciting time where it's like we have 2 countdowns in which this will be dated.
You play as Iris. You commit a hate crime.
Man, you're really making my noggin start jogging.
Oh my god. I need Bioshockman to make a Iris video game. Ken Levine's
Levine?
Mega Man X.
What else do we got, Casey?
Okay. This happened last night. Atlas posted a countdown. People were like, I wonder what this is. And then immediately the Twitter account propped up for Soul Hackers. This is going to be for a new Soul Hackers game, it looks like.
Cool.
Where once a new day crossed over, they showed like videos with like images with like snow and static on them. It doesn't seem to fully 100% match up with the previous 2 Soul Hacker games, part of that Devil Summoner sub-series. That's cool, because that's one of the more interesting like sub-series they've done, and Sega listed it as a dormant IP they want to try and bring back. It was at the bottom of that list, so I'm surprised it got hit, but there it is. Last one was the Saturn game that went to the 3DS.
Yeah, I hope that this is like some sort of well-budgeted revival of it, because I'd love to see another Atlas thing get like a big game.
Yeah.
Because they got all the demons made.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have all the demons made, so they should. This needs to be like the PS2 2, where they just do all their shit on consoles again.
Right?
Yeah, that was the hope. I do wonder if it's going to be the same style of the previous 2 of these types of games, because if so, that's first-person dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like that they could probably.
I feel like that probably won't be it, but maybe something like that in style.
Yeah, the aesthetic and look of some of that stuff looks cool, so I'm interested in seeing them act on it. I mean, I hope it's like super sick, and then maybe I'll play that 3DS one, because I've talked to Stickman Sham about it. They're really into that one. So those are the 2 countdowns
Okay.
that we got this week.
We can bust through your other news really quick, because it's technically one story.
Yes, it is. It was announced that Nintendo 3DS and Wii U eShop are shutting down.
Boo.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Boo.
So starting May 23rd, you can't add funds to either of these eShops using your credit card. So
Is it May 23rd this year or next year?
this year.
Jesus, I thought
Fuck
they were.
off.
I thought they
What?
were saying that was next year they were doing.
Oh, yeah,
this.
Next year they're shutting it down. This year they're cutting off the funds.
Yeah, here's the specific timeline. So May 23rd of this year, you can't add funds to the eShops with a credit card. Then August 29th, you can no longer use eShop cards to add funds to the eShops. And then support for redeeming download codes will end in March of 2023, where it's all gone. In response to this, they had to say, Pokemon Bank is free once March hits, because otherwise everything is paywalled and trapped there forever.
Yep.
Because
Yeah, you got to move your Pokemon from Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Jail.
yes.
Yes.
There would have been no way to do that if it was still trying to run on that fee.
God.
I'd like that someone pointed it out, and I thought it was funny that unless Sony quickly decides to change course on what they said, the Vita will effectively outlive the 3DS and thus wins.
Default.
Yeah, this sucks real bad.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not sure. I should probably tweet at David Jaffe to know for sure.
God.
So this like gives more credence to the Switch 2 within the next 18 months, like rumors, because Nintendo usually keeps this shit alive a whole gen.
Yeah, if not longer.
If not, like, they usually keep, like, okay, the next thing, the thing after it is out, kill it.
Yeah.
God.
It's so insane, especially because it's like, after March, it's like, I know it's a fringe case.
Mm-hmm.
But that second Fire Emblem 3DS game, Fates, had 2 versions you could pick. But the third true route ending is digital only, and that's gone. That will die.
Jesus.
The third like final route in that they meant for you to play both, and then you would download that one. You can't download that one after March.
I would like to point out that the FAQ for this, the FAQ for this,
Yeah.
Yes.
which Nintendo edited and deleted that. Let me try and find the fucking exactly what they said.
They deleted it
because
within an hour.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was really
They
bad.
accidentally lit their pants on fire.
and their back pocket had a bottle of gasoline that was leaking.
Okay, they basically said, one of the questions was, why don't you make our games? Why don't you make it possible to give you money for your old games? And they basically this was like, it literally says, we have no plans to do anything but the Switch Online subscription.
We think that's sufficient, is basically what they said.
We have 100 titles available on Nintendo Switch Online.
Yes.
Isn't that good enough?
None of them are Wii U or 3DS games.
Yeah. Which made them doing this at this exact moment insane.
Especially for the three. Like, I need somebody who's inside one of these companies to be like, what benefit is there to shutting this down? Like, where is any cost coming from?
How expensive does it have to be for them to be like, we're losing?
Like, is it something with the payment processing? Because that's the only thing I can think of. Because they still have to store these games and provide them. Nobody wants to be the first person to blink and be like, no, we're not providing the shit you paid for anymore. Nobody wants to be the first one to do that.
Yeah, except Bungie.
So, like, is it just our payment processor charges us this month to month, and we haven't been making that for 2 years?
Yeah,
because otherwise it just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And Sony backed down. I have no issue saying that Nintendo won't. Nintendo will not back down. They will kill this shit.
They have
Nintendo
a really high defense value.
That's true.
Yeah, it's called nobody at that company knowing what the internet is.
Yeah, that helps.
Everybody who makes decisions is some 80-year-old man carved out of a block of granite who bleeds if they look at a computer.
Block of granite.
Yeah, there's literally no amount of received poorly that could occur that will make them reverse direction on this.
Yeah, they don't really care about bullying there at all.
No. That sucks. Okay, well, we got all the timeline stuff out. That story's done. I guess we'll move on to someone else's news. It came out in the last week that the horror game Martha is Dead is going to be censored by Sony on PlayStation 4 and PS5 platforms. I'm mostly just surprised Martha is Dead had nothing to do with Batman, because I saw it trending on Twitter and went, what? Or just
why are they talking about fucking Batman versus Superman? We're past that.
Like, guys, we need to move past it. You can't live in the hate zone. You need to live in the create zone. But yeah, apparently it's an incredibly graphic horror game, and Sony's censoring it on their platforms. The degree of which is unknown as of yet, but it is still to some extent.
This is why we have an ESRB and they rated this game. Shut the fuck up, Sony.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, this is awful. What are you doing?
This is why the ESRB exists. Like, we had to fight to have a ESRB instead of a government rating board.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense to me. I read the description on like why they did, and I went, ugh. But also it got rated.
I saw the clip, and it is fucking crazy. I cannot. I kind of can't believe that the ESRB gave this an image and be like, "No, you're in."
Yeah, I know. I don't know how that's not an AO based on description.
Bob, have you heard about it?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like you should kneel to the industry organization you also support.
Yeah, I mean, Sony's a member.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they don't need to have like a second wall.
No, especially since that's not their image. Like, at no level is Sony's image the safe platform for families everywhere. You fucking have The Last of Us Part 2.
You made The Last of Us Part 2.
Last I checked, you're the only person putting out AAA games with graphic sex scenes. Like, come on.
And also violent.
Yeah, like
and also MK11 is on your platform.
Right. Yeah, no.
The game that references illegal snuff films.
Yeah.
It really just seems like this is an indie dev. They have no clout. We're gonna fuck them.
Yeah, it seems really weird that Sony's being like this, because by and large, Nintendo hasn't even done this.
Right.
And it's like, no one sees Sony's brand as completely safe for families. Like, and there's no reason to pretend it should be that. I don't understand them overstepping their boundaries here and doing this. And honestly, I think we need huge amounts of industry, like actual in the industry backlash, and not just, vagina bones YouTubers clapping back at this, because that's the only way they listen. Like, remember the fucking indie thing where indie devs came out and said they're impossible to work with? And within months, they were working on fixing that.
Yeah.
We need that level of reaction. We need these people who seem to think games as a platform, as a medium, as an art form is legitimate, to actually actually start respecting it like that and thus clap back at Sony for this. We don't need Sony getting away with this without large industry ramifications.
Like this is getting into like Walmart and Blockbuster influencing culture with their own bullshit internal censorship. Like Blockbuster was terrible about this, especially where it's just like we won't carry this R-rated movie so nobody will see it. It's not even NC-17. It's R.
Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sony's been bad about this the last few years, but it was mostly for Japanese games being too sexy.
Yeah, they're how old? 16? What the fuck are you doing?
What? Once again, ESRB has a shut the fuck up. That's why they exist. If the ESR,
it's true.
Like everybody got together and said, "Here's our ratings board. If they rate it, shut the fuck up."
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, it's like what it's like when Nintendo was localizing all their stuff and they were getting scared with every release back in the Wii U era.
Yeah,
and then they kind of just, I guess, chilled out.
Yeah, it's almost like they restructured that entire part of the company and threw out a lot of people.
Yeah, they need to cut this shit out. This is helping no one. It's incredibly toxic for the art form. Yeah, it's toxic for the medium. If we can have films about this, we can have fucking games about this. Come the fuck on.
I have
Seriously?
No idea what part of the company this is even coming from. This is ludicrous.
It has to be one guy. It has to be one person with the power to do this who saw it and was like, no.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is going to hurt the brand.
Fuck. The worst decisions ever made have been made in honor of the nebulous brand.
Yes.
This is going to hurt the brand. You mean the brand that won't offer any back compat titles? You're worried about how they look? You look like fucking jackasses. You're starting to get to PS3 tier again. Your image sucks.
Yeah, Sony has a fucking horrible image right now. It's fucking terrible, and they seem to just be like sealed in the box. Like, no, we can't get. Luckily, we're all sealed in a box where no feedback can penetrate.
They're in an anechoic chamber. They're like, I can't hear you.
And Mark Cerny is outside the box, but he can only communicate them inside the box through gestures, so they don't actually know what's going on.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, that totally sucks. I'm not looking forward to the next time we cover this news story. Because every time I hope it's the last time.
Yeah, right. They should stop. I heard they did something in that Demon Slayer game. It's like, isn't that T?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I did hear that they censored something in the Demon Slayer game. That's absolutely nuts.
I'm like, that's an anime arena fight. It's like I'm pretty sure they're not getting too racy on this one.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Horizon Forbidden West has built into like the accessibility features gyro aim controls, like Splatoon.
Ooh.
I legitimately love that functionality. I thought it was awesome in Gravity Rush and Splatoon. I think everyone should try to push this, and it has been really surprising that Sony hasn't, by and large, in their first-party stuff, considering their controller has gyro controls and Xbox doesn't. If they pushed it, that was an area they could put Squeeze on Xbox. So it seems weird they haven't done it. I'm glad they're doing it now. I'm looking forward to trying this out tomorrow.
Yeah, the Breath of the Wild having this was really cool.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, we have not seen it on anything PlayStation that I can think of. I'm super excited to see how it feels on here.
It's to the point where if you didn't pay attention, you might have not known the DualShock 4 even had motion controls.
Right.
I need to try it again, because in my Splatoon experience, I can't hold the controller still.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nightmare.
Oh yeah, if you do one of these features, you need to have sensitivity.
Yeah, where I feel like every single time I'm just gripping it the wrong way and I'm just missing constantly.
With Splatoon, it's also weird because it feels like there's a delay on it. Like there's
Splatoon 2 is a horribly input lag filled game.
Yeah.
Like I've done analysis of it. It is markedly worse than 1. For some reason, a lot of Switch ports are that. Mario Maker 2, same deal, like much more latent than Mario Maker 1. Splatoon 2, much more latent than Splatoon 1. So, like, the less input lag you have, the better it's going to feel.
Right.
Which is why it'll be really great for performance mode in Horizon, hopefully. And probably not for 4K 30. But who knows? Not me.
Yeah, just spin that camera around and try not to get sick.
It's a beautiful smear. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
You've got some news.
Yes. For Valentine's Day, we saw a trailer for Wanted Dead. It's made by former Ninja Gaiden devs that work at Soel. I think that's how you say that.
Soleil?
Soleil. Something like that. They made Ninjala
What?
in that Samurai Jack game on PS4.
Okay.
Also Naruto to Boruto Strikers.
Oh, it's that team. Yeah.
But this is them doing like a hardcore realistic action game. It looks like Devil's Third.
Of course, because this is like that spin-off group that worked on Devil's Third that then had a separate company that made the Naruto to Boruto game.
Right.
The oatmeal cookie DNA.
This is that company.
Yeah. Because this is the spinoff of Valhalla, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But the trailer doesn't look great, but it makes me excited for how weird this game is going to be. They say it has the dismembering limb mechanic, kind of like Ninja Gaiden 2 through 3.
I'm looking at this trailer. The melee is rough.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I'm going to swing my sword. Slide whistle sound as he schmoves across the room.
Yeah, I suspect this is going to be very much like Devil's Third and not feel good, but maybe be hilarious.
Yeah, no, Devil's Third is absolutely amazingly hilarious. This game seems like it's topping the GigaBoots core game for this year. Is it this year?
I think it is this year. I'm pretty sure.
Awesome, great.
Yeah, the trailer ends with 2022.
Then I went to the publisher's website. It's 110 Industries. This entire website feels fake.
Yeah, it sounds fake.
Everything has like a really cool, stylish logo.
And
then they have like trailers for 3 or so different games. 2 of them are from the same dev, and then a third from some other dev. And they all feel like they could just be fake CG trailers made for this website.
I'm looking at this. He's absolutely right. This has the same aura as Metal Gear Solid 4 commercials for not real products.
Yeah, it looks like they just got some like logo company to make logos for those, right?
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. This looks like the kind of trash I like.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, God, I hope it's funny because Devil's Third is one of the funniest video games ever made.
Yes. That Valentine's Day trailer seems like off kilter enough where it will be funny, even if it's unintentional or otherwise.
Right? Yeah, intentional or otherwise. Yeah.
The only other news I got is a former Witcher 3 director went off and made his own studio called Rebel Wolves. They're working on a AAA dark fantasy RPG using Unreal Engine 5.
Okay, so here's my question.
What's up?
What is CD Projekt Red's plan now if the director of Witcher 3's gone and Cyberpunk went like it
Yeah.
did?
And apparently he took a lot of people with him because it's awesome. There's CD Projekt Red devs.
I do remember when everyone turned on Cyberpunk, they're like, "Did you notice that the Witcher 3 director and a bunch of people just kept abandoning ship as that game was about to come out?"
Yeah, because the studio like was terrible to work in. It was apparently toxic as hell.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
bad work conditions.
Oh yeah, it had like that one site that like rates that rates that experience for workers was like one of the worst.
wasn't a year plus of crunch, something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, something like 18 months.
Yeah. So good on them. Escape, make this.
This makes it a lot harder for E3 for some dude drunk to go onto the PC game show and say Witcher 4.
They've already basically said that. So
I'm excited that they made that studio. I'm happy for them. There's no way the director of The Witcher 3 can't get funding to make an Unreal Engine 5 dark fantasy RPG. That seems absurd.
Yeah, if it's Unreal Engine 5, it doesn't have to be the biggest game ever made like The Witcher 3 is.
Yeah.
Like if they have it under scope control, it could be fucking spectacular.
It would be the funniest shit in the world, though, if it comes out and it's another Cyberpunk situation. This is also not an RPG.
God, could you imagine?
That would be funny as hell.
This reminds me, I need to go buy Witcher 3 before it gets its next gen update so I can get it cheaper.
Because we watched our own friends
Oh my God,
get Cyberpunk after they did the update for $25. And I'm like, dude, it was like 10 last year.
Right? It was $5 or $10 frequently.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I bought in my lead up to PS5. It's like I'll buy Witcher 3 because they said they were doing an update, and there's no way I will ever have a piece. within the time, a reasonable time frame, have a PC that can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
As well as the PS5.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when I bought it. And at some point in time, we're going to give that game a chance. But before we do that, let's go to Phil for news.
You know, Phil, your top bullet, I've spent the entire week going, I don't know what the fuck this means, and it's upsetting me.
Okay, so Facebook is changing the name of Newsfeed to just Feed.
What?
Okay.
So I wrote in the news document, Zuck's Feed and Seed, formerly Newsfeed.
And I'm like, what the fuck does this mean?
Simpsons reference.
God damn it.
Oh god. Okay. I went with my head.
Mostly I just wanted to fucking make fun of how insane it is that just changed to that they can't get mad at us for spreading fake news if we take out the word news.
Yep.
Then
What a great website. I'm glad my parents and everyone else's is on it.
yeah.
And then I found out that they're going to start calling their employees metamates and be like, I'll kill you. You call me a metamate, you're dead.
Yeah, they're like, at Amazon, their workers are called Amazonians. At Meta, they're going to be called Metamates.
What a
I'm gonna throw a
nightmare.
homemade napalm bomb at you.
Yeah, I appreciated your image.
So every streaming service announced a million fucking things this week. Netflix announced a Bioshock movie.
So excited.
it'll
I'm
have
glad we
characters?
caused this.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
People were like excited that it happened and then immediately pissed.
Again, just getting Shyamalan, you're done.
Yeah.
Hey,
He can write it.
It's gonna be really great when they're like, well, the audio logs were important, so that'll be our framing device for the entire film.
Oh no, this is a movie like nowadays, so there will be an audio log scene, and it'll be them listening to something you already heard parts of throughout the story, and now in the current context of the middle of the film, it all makes sense.
Hey,
I'm just excited for how insanely bad Rapture will look with the $12
it's a
Netflix will give them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh god, Netflix Bebop Rapture.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can't
that's
wait to see how good CG Big Daddy will look.
Yeah,
because they
that's
will not be
what
smart
we're
enough to make a practical Big Daddy.
They actually announced some of the casting already. Did you know Danny O'Dwyer's gonna play Atlas?
Dude, I would give that movie an 8 at least.
Other streaming announcements. Paramount Plus announced a million fucking things. They announced one, they're giving Knuckles his own show in 2023. He's still going to be voiced by Idris Elba. They're already making the third Sonic movie, meaning they announced Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
That is true.
I thought that was funny.
That is true.
I'm like, that makes sense. The first Sonic movie did well. It's better than certain other things that haven't released yet, and they're still giving it more content.
That being the Halo show, which is already confirmed for a second season, which is funny because the showrunner said, I'm not doing a second season, goodbye.
God.
Paramount Plus needs exclusive shows, but I feel like they should read the room first.
And one I didn't put on this because it happened today. Amazon Prime announced that fucking company that keeps buying video game licenses to desperately try to sell to streaming services, they're buying some. They're buying Life is Strange and Disco Elysium.
Oh, fuck.
So Amazon is going to try to produce a show based on the most openly communist game ever made.
That's gonna go great.
Oh, that's gonna be so bad.
So happy.
I still don't think these will get out of like committee, because Amazon is real bad about things not getting out of committee.
I'm excited to watch it. Lord of the Rings. It cost them $500 billion or something.
I heard a trailer came out.
Did you hear the news?
Here's the Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah.
I found out it's based on nothing.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Did you hear about this at all, Bob?
Wait,
they
it's
only
not based on the books?
They don't have the rights to the extended universe material.
Okay.
So they can't use 90% of what you think of.
Oh my god.
This whole show is based on like 4 poems, which I think all fit on 2 pages.
What?
Yes. This is what they spent all that money on, Bob.
So it's literally just made up. So like, I don't see why anybody who's like, I'm a fan of the Lord of the Rings, like, why would you give a shit? It's just Amazon taking a shit.
Maybe they just really like high fantasy in general, so they'll go along for it.
I am curious to see, like, what does the money you spent look like?
Yeah, I'd like to see expensive high fantasy, and then make a podcast about how bad it was.
Yeah, I do. There is the fear that's like, we made this incredible set. It looks incredible. All the characters stand in it and talk for 12 episodes. And there was one of those fucking bullshit fake headlines. And frankly, everybody needs to quit doing this. It's really starting to piss me off now.
Yeah.
Where someone will be asked a question in an interview, and then the answer they gave will be reported on like they just came out and said it.
Yeah.
It happens less now with the person X says they want to make X game, which used to be the dominant form of this. But this was like Inaba saying, we're open to being acquired if our independence is valued, which they were asked. So what other answer would you give? Also, why would anybody buy Platinum? No offense. Like, you don't own anything, bro. Like, I'm sorry, you don't own any of your IPs, and your teams are not like talented in using modern tools.
But it's okay. They own their own engine. Just think about all the money you'll save by not paying licensing to Unreal Engine.
Oh, man. This type of headline just pops up so often of the interview asked a thing and then has to roll. Like, it's like every director that's talked about a Marvel movie in the past 3 years. It's just been that's one question among 12, and that's the lead in.
Yeah.
And then lastly, RPG Maker Unite was announced. It is a new RPG Maker game built on Unity. So I think that could be really neat.
That's
because it's like
interesting.
It's finally becoming like this bridge between, like, this could actually be like, oh no, now that you've done a bunch of stuff in RPG Maker Unite, you actually kind of understand some things about Unity.
Yeah.
Which I think, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Epic makes like a gamified version of Unreal Engine.
What is that? They did some initiative that was supposed to be sort of like their version of Dreams, but it kind of didn't make an impact. So I guess it really was their version of Dreams.
Oh, no.
No.
I love you, Dreams. I wish other people would too.
I saw a couple people cover this week where it was a thing about Kamiya saying, "No, I'm serious, Xbox. We could totally just finish Scalebound." He's like, you just give me a call. I was serious all the other times I mentioned it. It's like, if you guys want to, you can't do anything with those assets the way they are. I mean, we could probably just fucking fix this thing up and release it.
Phil Spencer's trapped in a room as Kamiya blocks the door. He's like, "You don't have to kiss me."
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Like Phil Spencer ain't answering any calls for anybody worth less than $30 billion.
Definitely not like, anyone from a Japanese company.
Like the next Microsoft acquisition will be Ubisoft.
The last big Japanese thing they got was AI the Somnium Files on Game Pass 2.5 years after launch.
I forgot to mention this during games. Library of Ruina is on Game Pass, but nothing else, which is bizarre.
Huh.
It's not on PlayStation or Switch.
Maybe they paid for exclusivity, which would be bizarre.
That would be insanely bizarre. I think it's probably more like Microsoft maybe doesn't have super stringent standards about putting stuff, because that game must play like trash with a controller. It must just be embarrassing. So it's just like we have lots of stories about it being hard to get your shit onto Sony.
Well, we did find.
So I wonder if
was it Spider Person?
Yes.
Amazing web shooter.
Yeah, that Xbox shit where it's just like you can put your apps on there and they don't moderate it at all.
Spider Mutant Nova.
That's it. Jesus.
They literally steal the covers of Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and the PlayStation Spider-Man game.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And then try to charge you $40.
Hey, whatever. If somebody wants to put their game on Game Pass and get a little paycheck, hell yeah. All the more power to them. I don't know about the exclusivity thing. Hopefully that made sense for them to do. But yeah, that's it for news.
Whoa.
We're free now. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
Horizon. And then next Friday, Elden Ring.
Elder Rings?
Elden Ring.
Ooh.
And then
is it eternal?
And then after, it might be. We might get a Minecraft sword.
Yes.
There might be a baby.
There might be. Gonna rock that crib.
Hey, they still care about babies. I played Bloodborne.
That's true.
Yeah, that game almost ended just like.
Eternal Ring becomes more and more important as time goes forward.
Yes.
But yeah, maybe after Elden Ring I can sleep. I I don't
Is
know.
the turtle ring like fucking how Takahashi always goes back to Xenogears with his games?
He said Takahashi, and I'm like, yes, every Rumiko Takahashi thing is the same thing. This is correct.
There are a lot
They
of
have
Taka-
different outfits now. It's different.
The new one is different, which is why it's bad.
Well, now I feel bad for making the joke. Clearly, I'm a part of the problem.
A little bit.
Also, we hit the stream goal for God of War, which is a lot of games, actually.
Good job playing the God of War franchise on Women's History Month.
I know. Just after we did Bioshock Infinite
Oh,
on
no.
Black History
No.
Month. What an insane well I've fallen into. Jesus. God.
What's the most homophobic game franchise? You have to do that in July.
We were talking about what is the most anti-pride, and people. There was some debate, but I didn't see anything.
Persona.
Yeah, I literally said, "Yo, you should just play certain sections of Persona 4 and 5." Just the scenes where the characters come in and go, "Ooh, we're gonna grab you, make you do things." They're like, "No, I hate them." Hey, thank you, Atlas.
Japan, an ideal utopia.
It is.
But yeah, God of War. We're gonna be doing 7 God of War games. That's 1 through 3 Ascension, the 2 PSP ones, and the PS4 one. To prep everyone for this year's game, so that way when they see something, some subtle hints, some little clues, a nice little throwback, like say a little obscure Easter egg known as the Blades of Chaos, they'll be like, I know what that means.
I'm sure there will be many references to God of War Ascension, the cultural dead zone of the franchise.
I know literally no one knows anything about God of War
Just
Ascension.
like
I'm very
Gears of War
excited.
Judgment.
It really is, yeah. Yeah, they're twin souls, you know?
Yep.
I'm very excited to dig to the bottom of that. The funny thing is, I was telling Bob, it will be almost like the opposite, the reverse of the caps of these, okay? So Bioshock Infinite Burial, it sees the end of Bioweek, and God of War 1 is the beginning of God of War. And so from there, things will improve.
Right?
I'm shooting from the hip.
Except maybe Ascension. We don't know.
There's no way Ascension's just...
It'd be really funny if that one's like really good, but everyone slept on it. That'd be neat.
That would be bizarre.
That would be neat. That would be bizarre. We played enough of that game back in the day to be like, I don't need... just like Metal Gear Solid 5, I don't need the third origin story.
Oh, yeah, that part's always going to be caustic.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I need another one before he became the guy who would become the God of War.
Well, we want more games in this franchise, but we don't want to move the timeline forward. What if we did something fucking awful and no one cared?
Yeah, it's like we can't even potentially make a new character and follow them. No. We just do nothing.
No.
So we're very excited for that. And, after that, we're going to put up our stream goal for Armored Core Month. It's $60,000 because it's going to take us 700 hours to beat every Armored Core game. Jesus.
Man, I can't believe you hit it in 2 days.
Somebody let some FromSoft Armored Core subreddit know.
Yeah.
They all appeared with gold in their hands.
And then you put up the Prototype 2 goal and you never hit a goal ever again.
And then we starved to death. KZ, what do you have going on in the next week?
I'm going to be playing the new Voice of Cards that came out at the time of recording it today. So I'm going to jump into that, see how that is. I'm going to be playing off-stream Horizon because I feel like I just want to zone out while I'm enjoying that. In the lead up to Elden Ring, I'm also going to be doing a death stream of Condemned Criminal Origins. I did a goal for that because I thought it would be funny to play a 360 launch game and see if it's still fun to kill homeless people that try to spook you and hit you with a pipe.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah. But that's all I got set up in the lead up to Elden Ring.
Okay. Mr. Phil?
Horizon and then Elden Ring.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yep.
Well, we have to shut off this podcast now so I can shove a McDouble in my face and say, this is food. Oh, wait, it's too late. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We recorded...
Looks like it's what?
Yeah.
God
Looks
damn
like
it.
We recorded 3 podcasts today.
Looks like it's the mushroom Swiss for you.
No, they don't sell it at our Whataburger anymore, and my mod Spaceman Spiff keeps bragging about how his Whataburger in Huntsville has a mushroom Swiss.
And half the time you try to order from like the app on Whataburger and they say no.
Yeah, it just rolls a 1 and whiffs, and then the app dies. God! Don't you deserve the right to eat fast food past 11 p.m.? No, says the man in Niceville.
You should starve. I built the combo Taco Bell Pizza Hut.
Isn't a man not entitled to his Taco Bell order being correct?
No,
says the man in Huntsville.
God. Thank you for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support us, head on over to www.patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get extra podcasts and early access to our anime podcast, Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool. Head on over there and become a $5 backer or podlord today. This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by the continued support of our executive producers, such as Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Burning Pepsi Man, Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these gamers. If you want to support GigaBoots so we can continue the content crunch, then head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots today.